I'd like to take a class.
Okay. Why do you give us that early do that? Why do you give us that early do that?
Oh, well. Yeah, you also saw me over at the, I was riding my bike down, Manning, this morning.
Just a little bit of housekeeping this morning. I'm Jeff Davis, I'm kind of the one that designed this, and you know, with the help of the local 1841, we put this together. Really, what we're trying to do is show you what we do for a living. We're not always just sitting out on the bench looking handsome all the time and pretty. The stuff we actually do. What we're going to do, we're going to do 4 separate exercises today. We're going to do CPR, defib. It's going to be run real time. The next evolution is going to be a car fire. It's going to be a live fire scenario. They'll actually put the car fire out. The third scenario is going to be vehicle extrication. We've got jaws of life out back, some cutters, and some other equipment that we use. The 4th evolution is going to be search and rescue. That's going to be like real life. We've got the room darkened. We've got the room fogged up. So it's going to give you a real taste what it is to be a firefighter and how it is when we go in these atmospheres. The only thing missing upstairs is going to be the high heat. It's warm already a little bit up there, but this is how we train. We've done a lot of training. This is the way we do it, and it brings the real life scenario. The first piece of housekeeping is just a waiver. Basically, if you get hurt today, that you don't hold Chief Sidlow accountable.
I thought you were putting this on.
I am, but it says Leominster Fire Department all over it.
There goes your 3 years.
I want to stress, I want everyone to have fun. I want you to learn. You may be a little tired when you leave. That's okay. We're quite often tired at the end of our shift. But we really want you to experience what firefighting is like and really get a flavor for it. We want you to understand what we do. When we're kind of looking for grants, we're looking for certain type of equipment. Now you have a little bit better idea kind of why we're out there looking for different type of stuff. Today you're going to get to wear the gear. To give you some information on how heavy it is when we're all decked out in our gear, boots, pants, coat, helmet, an SCBA, and the tool in our hand. We're always carrying the tool. We're adding 75 pounds to ourselves. So if the average firefighter is around 200, 180, 250, somewhere around there, you're adding another 70 pounds to yourself. It's exhausting. We've got heat issues today. We had you medically cleared. If everyone's cleared, then you're going to be able to get in the gear. We're going to stress rehab today. We're going to stress water. We are offering coffee, but if you're getting into the suits, please don't drink 3-4 cups of coffee and then go out in the suits. Dehydration is going to be a problem. We won't, like I said at the beginning, we want you to have fun. We want you to stay safe. We've got a lot of firefighters today. We're all off duty. Come down and volunteer. We want to make sure you're safe. If you're not feeling good for any reason, each group, everyone's going to be assigned a group, and you're going to be assigned a liaison. Let somebody know, hey, I'm not feeling good, and we'll just take you aside quietly. We're not going to make any show out of it. We're all EMT, so we know how to take care of you. It should be no problem. Only a few minutes from the hospital. I don't expect to have a problem. But by all means, if you're not feeling good, you're not feeling right, please let us know. Some of the scenarios, the live fire scenario, the search and rescue scenario, if you're claustrophobic, it's no big deal. We do understand that. I teach at the fire academy, and we get to teach recruits going through that. So a lot of times firefighters are kind of claustrophobic at the beginning. If you've got that problem while we're in that search and rescue, let somebody know. We have a lot of personnel up there, and we're going to let you know what's going on. We're going to have somebody with you all the time. Anything you don't feel comfortable with, just say, hey, I don't think this feels right. It's going to be challenging. Like I said, we just want to get you the flavor of everything that's going on. Anyone have any questions? We should run through this pretty quick. Each scenario is going to last about a half an hour. Everything's pretty well timed. After the scenario, we're going to give you 10-15 minutes to cool down, take the gear off, and hydrate, have some water. We've got chairs set up throughout the facility. We're going to reiterate hydrating all day long. It's very important to keep you hydrated. Today for the liaisons, What we have is Craig Long. Craig's our president of the local. Next one, Mark Burnett is one of the liaisons. He'll run another group. Gary Rayno. Is Gary in here? Gary Rayno. Gary's the other liaison. And Roger LaPointe. Roger, come on in. Nut job. Roger's the other. I apologize in advance to anyone that's with Roger's group.
My picture come up yet?
And within 10 minutes, you'll understand why I said that.
It will be entertaining.
So I'm going to divvy you up into four separate groups. I'm just going to go. It's random. So Diane, if you could go. If you could go with Craig Long.
Okay.
Lucky you.
Yay.
We don't have to write the Chiefs card. I will wait for the new one. Ricky, you'll be with Gary Rayno.
Okay.
Robin?
Yep.
Robin, you'll be with Roger LaPointe.
Oh, yeah, sure. You planned that. I see how it is.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
So they warned you up, right?
You'll be with Mark. Mark is Mark's straight across here. Ricky Ann, you'll be with Craig.
Problem is, life knowledge. It was one thing when it was just, not Linda like to go down.
Reverend Sue, you'll be with Gary. Jen, you'll be with Roger. Keep him in line.
Me? Keep them in
Yeah.
line?
Justin, you'll be with Mark.
It's okay if you hit him.
I'm just glad you're not. Why?
Dave, you'll be with
I
Craig.
know. My feelings are hurt.
Now that was planned.
I may not be with you, but I'm gonna be at the seat.
Chuck, you'll be with Gary.
No.
Not until we slap those defense pads on.
Oh, yeah, we're using a real one today.
Are they supposed to go on your head?
Just don't stand in the puddle when you hit the button.
Shock treatment.
We got a different
And Wayne,
version of
you'll be with
copay.
How's that copay?
All right, so we'll start. Craig, you'll be CPR. You'll come down this way.
Follow me.
Right with ya.
Morning, Roger. Home business.
You can do it now. Actually, we walked
It is
in
okay to
and finished
hit.
the year.
Same here. Good.
Can I have that okay for like
Stairs
everyone?
over here.
We're gonna go over here. And we're gonna be the first arriving company.
Oh, okay.
So they're gonna come over.
How long do we have?
An ambulance on fire.
15, 20 minutes?
We got that other game. These guys are from,
One, yes. One from MedStock. That we
yeah,
work
we're
closely
running
with.
backward, we'll go.
We dispatch for them, they run our ALS service, our AS life support. The fire department just runs BLS, basic life support. And we use them as the medics.
Steve,
More than
you
everybody.
wanna pull up the BVM and there?
Yep.
These guys would be our ambulance crew.
Okay.
Andy and Steve. Ryan.
What we're gonna do is, so this is CPR. Anybody certified in CPR?
I used to be.
You used to be? Okay. So it pretty much doesn't change. There's a few changes throughout the years in how we do CPR. But bottom line, the basics of CPR is that still to this day, with all the ways people die, cardiac emergencies are the biggest killer in emergency situations. Whether it's in a trauma or a medical problem, the biggest killer of adults is cardiac arrest, cardiac emergencies. the biggest way to save someone, early CPR. That's why we push to have everybody know CPR. When we get on a scene, if someone already knows CPR and they're doing it, a person's chances of survival increase tenfold. When your heart stops, it stops moving blood, stops pumping oxygen into your brain. 6 minutes without oxygen, it's pretty much you're going to be, if
Have
not
some
brain
sort-
dead,
Some sort of.
it increases the level of chance of being brain damaged. So whether we bring him back or not, 6 minutes isn't a long time. So from when you make a phone call to us getting there, 6 minutes is nothing. So early CPR is important. That's why a lot of times on ambulance calls, that's one of the big ones. People always ask us, we always get the question, how come you see a fire engine, an ambulance, and another ambulance on a call? Fire engines, because all of our firefighters are EMTs, so we want to get them on scene. Most of our engines, if they're coming from quarters, can get to anywhere in the city within 3 to 5 minutes, and then the ambulance is right behind them. A CPR call, a code we call it, it takes 7, 8 to 10 people. It sounds like a lot, but you have your 4 guys on an engine company. You want 4 guys on your engine company. Usually you have 3 on your engine company, 2 on the ambulance, and then 2 medics. Nowadays, the protocols have changed where you're actually going to get 4 ambulances, or 3 ambulances, because the paramedics, they ride medic and a basic, and the protocols call for 2 paramedics on a code. So you're going to get your firefighters, your EMTs, your paramedics, and their helpers. But bottom line, CPR, I'll teach you a real quick method of CPR.
We'll kind of go over this a little bit.
Just like this. In CPR, there's two things going on. You're doing compressions, which you're basically trying to pump blood through the body, which is pulling oxygen, and then we also give oxygen manually. The most important part of CPR is compressions. It used to be breathing is more important than compressions. Right now, all the studies show good, hard, quality compressions can save a life without even doing the breathing. So a quick method, hands-only CPR. You come up on someone, they're not responsive. You can check the pulse. You don't need to check the pulse. You're just going to kind of look
for any sort of breathing or anything like that.
You feel for breathing. You'll breathe on your neck, and you
So-
go right into compressions. Heel your hand.
So what you want to do, you want to be right on like the nipple line, right in the middle. Put one palm down like that, interlock your hand, and just go up and down, keeping your arms locked like that. Gives you more leverage.
You're not going to hurt someone. The harder you push, the better. Almost imagine in your mind you're pushing right down to their back. You're going to pump at a rate of at least 100 times a minute.
You guys want to try?
Good.
Going down, that's what you hear.
It's, what American Heart is teaching is, especially for the hands-only CPR for everybody, is you'll hear ads that they're doing right now. It's you're pumping to the beat of staying alive. So if you can
Use that song everybody knows.
That was in my head.
That's the beat that will give you 100 compressions per
And
minute.
if you do just that until we arrive, that's going to increase this person's survival tenfold, especially if you saw them go down.
So the new way is no longer like 5 or 6 breathe, 5 or 6
Nope.
breathe, just pump.
We still have compressions and breaths
I was gonna
because
say,
we have the
we
equipment.
adhere to
As far as you're concerned,
just
unless
keep
you
doing it.
go and take a CPR class and learn everything,
Yep.
just get those compressions.
Now, do you look for blockage or anything like that?
No, well, I mean, you can take a quick look. You're never going to put your hand in someone's mouth.
No.
2 reasons. 1, if there was something, you could push it further down. 2 is, and I'll give you a good example. The last CPR we just did a couple weeks ago, we had an airway in the person's mouth. He started to swallow it, and whatever reason, his body convulsed and he locked down. You don't want that to be a finger, because it'll be gone. So
Unless if there is something
There's
blocked,
something
like doing
doing your
compressions,
CPR?
you loosen it up.
you have a chance of it's
Almost a Heimlich, huh?
almost.
Right,
And the Heimlich on someone who's heavy or pregnant is to do chest compressions.
Right.
So just the chest compressions alone are going to help you push something up. And then you get that blood flow until we get there. And then we have airways, and then the medics, they have an advanced airway where they can go all the way down.
So my first question was around, when you come to a site, right, you guys are basic life support, third advanced life support. I mean, none of that really matters in the emergency thing, I just get things going. But at what point do you say, hey, we're gonna bring these guys in or don't?
We dispatch them.
We dispatch.
If it's called a possible
Yeah.
code,
So
They
you
would
call and say,
always
I
be
think
dispatched
someone's
with us.
not breathing, we're coming with the ambulance, the engine, the
and the
medics. Right off the bat.
And everybody's.
Everybody's coming.
everyone's
If you
responsible.
see something that is a surprise that you didn't get out of dispatch, then you'll call them in.
Yep.
Then we'll add more.
And it's either, depending on what's going on, we might start transporting and meet up with them,
Yeah.
and they'll just jump on board and then continue to the hospital.
What's the fundamental difference in a situation like that? If you find something here between ALS and BLS?
They're gonna do the advanced airway,
Yeah.
and they're gonna do a line and start pushing
They
drugs.
can push drugs.
They can push drugs on the way there.
Yep. They have higher capabilities of analyzing rhythms.
Yeah.
Our
machine-
defibrillator is semi-automatic, it tells us when to shock. Their defibrillator, they're actually trained to read heart rhythms and figure this out. They push drugs, the biggest thing is pushing drugs with them.
With our defib, if there's no rhythm at all, asystole, flat line,
Yeah.
nothing, it's not gonna give us a shock.
I see.
They could override that.
So what we'll do is we'll go over, have you guys just do a few compressions real quick, and then we'll kind of run you through a scenario of what it's like when we show up on a scene doing CPR. So, anybody wanna hop in?
So if your fireman's singing, staying alive, it's all right?
Yep.
Yes.
Sometimes I catch myself saying that.
Push right down.
Keep your elbows locked in, right?
Something,
And all up
it's
here.
kind of a gross thing, I guess, but if you're doing CPR right, you're probably gonna crack someone's ribs.
That's,
Cracked ribs are okay to deal with if you're alive.
Okay.
So it's not, you're not gonna hurt this person. Right. And CPR takes a long time, it's tiring. I mean, it could be, we could be at a call up the other end of town. You could be doing CPR for 10 minutes, so, but you gotta.
and that's
keep
another
on
reason
pumping.
for the help. When the engine company arrives, if,
Tap in.
if someone's doing compressions, we wanna keep that going while we're transporting. So everyone else will be grabbing a backboard, trying to put them on. We'll be doing it as we're getting them to the ambulance. We try not to stop.
Guy takes it right, guy will be
Straight
in the
down,
back.
good hard
We'll be doing
compressions.
it all the way. Yeah.
The whole time while we're rolling them on the stretcher, somebody be riding the stretcher.
Yeah,
doing
somebody's
compressions.
riding the side rail of the stretcher.
I always.
Doing it with
years
one
ago,
hand, too, when
did the
you're
mouth
riding the side of the
breathing to check that nothing's blocked, to do all that.
We've always been taught that, and now all of a sudden they're teaching you, this is more important. For the lay person to
Get the
find
blood-
someone,
get
just
the
get
blood
on the
pumping.
compressions.
You can go without
Now-
oxygen longer than you can go without.
Now, do you go directly to, Worcester?
No. For CPR, we'll go right to Leominster. Perfect. Now, the thing is, we say 100 a minute, it's at least 100 a minute. So, it's okay to go too fast. I mean, you're not gonna be like a jackrabbit, and you're gonna slow down as you go. And each set you do, you're gonna slow down more. But too slow isn't good enough. Good
I
quality.
wanna make sure you let the
fast.
chest recoil, because that's actually what,
That's when they.
that's what gives the pumping action in the heart. That's what'll pump. And every compression you do, it's drawing in air automatically. So while they're not getting like oxygen like we would give, they're actually still getting air, which is gonna become oxygenated and get pushed up to the brain.
I
just
thought
by
for
doing
heart
the
attack, they were
compression.
talking about going direct, and,
Heart attack
Heart
and
attack.
cardiac arrest, two different things that
Right.
you're talking.
So they go right to Worcester for a heart attack?
They may, there's certain protocols you meet, and they can go to Worcester, go right to the cath lab. A lot of times we'll bring someone in, go right up to the cath lab.
Yeah.
Cardiac arrest, you want to get them to the nearest medical facility as quick as you can. So,
Cardiac arrest means it's stopped.
they're dead.
Versus
Heart-
The
pain.
heart stopped.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No,
Versus
versus I
chest
think
pain.
I'm having a heart attack.
As opposed to having a heart attack, and these guys, they'll put you on the monitor, they can actually see that you're having a heart attack on there. Well, you got to get down to Worcester because that makes a difference. Your heart stopped, we need to just get you to the nearest
Right.
medical facility.
So is the Leominster ambulance going to Worcester on a heart
Yes.
attack and tied up on a half an hour or an hour run?
Closer to an hour, hour and a half. So, and now, when that happens,
Right.
Our new policy is we will then call two guys in
we
and
bring
man
two guys
rescue
in
two.
off duty.
Oh, you gotta go to Worcester?
That way
Which-
we're not running short.
How often are you going to Worcester, Nancy? Once a week?
At least.
It's-
You'll have
It has
It has-
days, we'll
it has
have
spurts.
2-3 weeks where we don't go at all.
Yeah.
And it'll seem like we're
Yeah.
going every shift,
I was
sometimes 2
gonna
times a
say,
shift.
I've gone the last 3 shifts I've
I know.
heard
Really?
once.
Because that was supposed to be one of the big things, right? The demand of sending the The ambulance to Worcester is a big deal, right?
Yes.
And that's not our choice anymore, that's protocols.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to get to
You
that.
know, trauma, depending on the mechanism of injury, you might have to go.
The motorcycle
right
accident
there.
data was in paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both our ambulances went to Worcester.
Stroke.
All right.
Want to show them what it's like?
Yep.
Come in real time.
Show them what we can, this is the equipment when we get called for a CPR call. Like I said, all our engines have EMTs on them. All our engines carry all these medical supplies. This is the first in bag.
We actually all carry the same bags pretty much.
Whichever crew is the first one in the door, whether it be the engine or the ambulance, are gonna walk in the door with this bag. This has your oxygen tank. It has
Pediatric.
devices, everything PD.
Infant PD.
Then it has air masks for regular oxygen
Adult.
therapy, nasal
Child.
cannulas. These are bag valve masks. This is what we use when we're doing CPR or assisted ventilation on someone. Obviously an adult one. We carry 3 of them on the ambulance, I think. The trucks only carry 2.
Nope.
Yep.
We have all 3
PDs
of them in the truck.
Adult, PD, infant. Obviously makes a difference of how much air you're pushing into someone. You don't want to push that much air into a baby with lungs this big. So you're going to go in with this bag, airways. We carry OPAs, airways.
All different size. The nasal airway.
So when we get on a scene, first crew in, you're going to run in the door, you're going to find the person. First person, check for a pulse. Now with us, with you we say don't even check for a pulse, just see if you think they're breathing. If they're not, right at CPR. Us, it's a few more steps up. We're going to go in, we're going to check for a pulse. We have no pulse. Right on the compressions immediately. You have one guy is on compressions. Next person is going to get out the defibrillator. That's the next step that's really huge, is early defibrillation. Get the pads on, get it analyzed. Someone else is going to put an airway into you. This basically is going to keep your tongue from blocking your airway while we're doing CPR. Anything that's in your mouth, that's right in your throat, and then we'll breathe. For us, it's 30 compressions, 2 breaths. 30 compressions, 2 breaths. So this will be hooked up right to the oxygen, so we'll have oxygen going in, straight oxygen. The defibrillator, our ambulances and all our fire trucks carry this defibrillator. This is a training one. It will not shock you, I promise. Nobody will get shocked. Craig's got a special one for you. This is a semi-automatic defibrillator. The ones you see at Orchard Hills, the high schools, the schools, those are automatic. They'll have one button. You push it, and it does everything for you. Ours is semi-automatic because we're trained. You push the analyze button, you push the shock button. They all come with pads. These aren't going to stick that well, but defibrillator plugs in, and then it starts yelling at you. It starts talking to you. You plug it in, you turn it on. These pads, a regular set of pads, these are training pads. Here they are.
Connect.
If you forget where to put them, they have pictures on them. This one's worn off. So, one pad, left side, other pad, up on the top of the chest. What it does is it sends electricity from one pad to the other. It shoots it across your body. So
Connect.
that's how they shock your heart, through these little pads here. And as we do the CPR, we'll go through how it runs. But just want to familiarize you with the equipment. And we'll come in with, usually it won't be the first crew in the door. It's usually the second crew, whether it's the ambulance or the fire engine. We'll bring a backboard in. Because often we're going to find someone laying on a bed on some soft surface. You want a hard surface to do CPR if you can help it. If someone stops breathing, and they're sitting in a chair, you want them on the ground, obviously, to do CPR. We use a backboard, we strap them. That way we have a hard surface right throughout. Carry them out on the backboard, we put them on a stretcher. They stay on the backboard all the way to the hospital. That way you always have a hard surface to push against.
I don't think they might know, but you have the numbers of how many ambulance calls you do in a year?
We do.
Right on that sheet.
I don't know them offhand.
Over 4,000. We go on over 4,000 Rescue 1 calls.
Wow.
A year. So what's
Rescue
that?
2 would be...
It's 100 a week, right?
Rescue 2 does about 600.
Rescue 1, from November 22nd, 2010 to November 21st, 2011. Rescue 1, ALS, which is when we have the paramedics with us, 1,367 runs. BLS, which would be just our ambulance without paramedics, 1,446. 478 no service. That would be when we go to a car accident. We respond to a car accident. Someone says, no, I don't want the ambulance. We sign a waiver. We come to your house because you called for your wife and she says, nope, I'm not going. That's a no service for us. Total EMS runs for Rescue 1, that's our primary frontline truck, 3,301 runs. Rescue 2, which is our backup truck that we man. If Rescue 1's out, we take someone off the fire engine and someone off the ladder. ALS 152, BLS 186, no service 77, for a total of 415.
No, thank you.
And then when both our ambulances are out, or if we're training or tied up at fire, we'll send MedStar, the private company, to run the calls for us.
No, thank you.
That's 281 calls they've done. ALS 227, BLS 70 no service, for a total of 578. So
So average is like 10 a day, right?
yes, yep,
Which is phenomenal when you think about it.
yep. And 10 a day. And
10
your
a
average,
day.
your average ambulance call, an average call is about an hour turnaround. From when you leave the station till you come back to the station, you're gone. So
And on top of that now, our reports are done on computer. So they have laptops that they're gonna bring with them. They're gonna start the report, get some information. They get back, they have the patient's information from the hospital. They have to start doing the report, and this all helps our billing process. But on a very, very routine call where you didn't have to do much, you know, things went well, there's not a lot of stuff you have to enter, it takes at least a half an hour to do a report. So if you went on those 10 runs, and they were just regular calls, there's another 5 hours in reports.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
10 a day. You think about a city of this size, 10 a day is a lot.
that's a lot.
Well,
it's funny,
you
you
know,
go to some cities around us and it just doesn't seem like they're running as much. I don't know what it is here.
Leominster is 6th in the state for motor vehicle accidents with injury.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta write that down.
And if you drive around Leominster,
Yeah, well, we've got a lot of highways, a lot of highway access.
Without Route 13, we're probably
You know, right?
150th.
Actually, more of the accidents I've been to weren't on Route 13, ironically. Yeah, I mean, but that's just falls. I work every
Yeah.
fourth day.
Yeah. Well, like almost like a. Guy actually.
We put a penetration protection in there. It's like an inner shell, and then you get the outer shell. So, we don't use these just for the purpose of today.
Oh,
The other night, we
Typically,
were
they're
weighed out, there's a big scale there. A little stretched out on it. And we weighed ourselves.
they got to be no next time. They don't have much protection. They want to go longer or shorter? They've gotten better. This one.
What we're gonna do is a demonstration. We'll show you the equipment. When we get to the search and rescue area, you'll have your option whether you want to go on air or don't want to go on air. It's up to you. But what we want to do is just show you the demonstration of what it's like. The gear that you have on, it's all three pieces. The outside is a protective shell. This protects us against cuts. I was at a car fire one time. The plate glass window broke, fell on my back, and the only thing that ripped was the reflex light on this coat. This outside protected me against that plate glass window. It's very strong, made out of Kevlar. Same thing, bulletproof vest made out of. The second part of this gear, this is a protective film. It's waterproof. Also protects us against bloodborne pathogens. Any type of disease that we make that's liquid out in the field. The third part of the gear is the vapor barrier, and what that does protects us against the high heat. The gear that we buy nowadays is good up to 1,000 degrees, so we can be inside an environment 1,000 degrees. We may cook inside, but the gear will survive. So they can bring us out pretty much, all will be like a microwave oven inside. So all this stuff, you're looking somewhere around $2,000 to outfit a firefighter just in this gear itself. We haven't even talked about the Scott air packs, but you're somewhere around $2,000 for this type of gear. And that's basically an overview. The other thing we have on are firefighting boots. We would have gloves on. We also have a Nomex hood, so that if something were to flash over with that Scott on, we're not going to get burned anywhere on our face. What I'll have is Jay LeBlanc will demonstrate the Scott Air Pack. We'll go over that a little bit.
All right, these are our Scott Air Packs, or SCBA, which stands for Self-Contained Breathing Apparatus. These are in all the seats of the fire trucks. It consists of a tank compressed to 4,500 PSI. It reduces down to our breathing regulator to put onto the air vents. I'm going to put this on, and we'll help you put these on today. Just because they can be kind of a pain. You get shoulder straps and a belt. The belt will take most of the weight of it. We turn the tank on all the way. There's a gauge in the back. There's a gauge right here on the shoulder to show you how much air you have left. Now when it gets down to a quarter of a tank, the regulator on your base piece will vibrate, signaling you have a quarter of a tank left and it's time to get out. Also, built into this is a pass alarm. It's a personal alarm safety system. If you stop moving for a certain amount of time, it'll start that alarm. It starts out slowly, it'll get louder and louder and louder. It starts out like this. It gets louder and louder, then it'll go to a full alarm. And that's in case one of our guys is down. Follow that sound and hopefully find them and get them out.
You probably recognize that from 9/11. A lot of that footage, that's all you heard in the background.
It's pretty loud. If you're wearing that today and it starts going off, give it about a little wiggle. The sensor's down here. That'll get the silence. Also, you can press this button if it starts going off on the side, and that'll get the silence. The red button in front is if you want to go straight to alarm. If you're down, people look for you, hit that red button. Also on these packs, these newer packs that we got from the brand back in 2004, is called the Buddy Breathing System. All our frontline packs have this on. If Brian's running low on air, and I'm his partner, I can clip in, I have the same connection on my pack, I can clip in, we can share, Unfortunately, we haven't had to use this yet. And when it's there, there's another tool we have in case we need it. Mask. These are the masks. It's right around your face, you get a head net over the top. Put it on, we're going to tighten the bottom straps, top straps. Put our hand right over the bottom there to check to see if we got a good seal. It sucks right to your face, you have a good seal, that's when nothing's going to get in. Put this in, flip it in, put the red knob up. Fits right in, twist. And take one deep breath in. You're breathing on the ears. You need to take it off. There's a thumb clip on the side. Pull it forward. Come off, and there's a switch on the top. We'll shut it off. So in, turn, breathe. We'll be there to help you in case you have any questions with it.
If you choose not to do it, that's nothing, we'll get closer to people. One of the businesses that these bottles carry oxygen, they're not oxygen, it's just ambient air. We get a compressor in the center of the station, and the tube that goes up to the roof, and just grab the ambient air. Compressing it.
Yeah, this big tube on the side of the station just lets the air right in. Fills it up. Yeah, right. The lights. Okay, so the lights do work on it.
Yeah, if you guys want to separate, you can take the,
Oh, just another quick thing. These are half-hour bottles. We call them half-hour bottles. That's great if you're sitting there, standing here. It'll probably last you a half hour, maybe a little bit longer. When we're working in a fire, these last 10, 5 minutes, because you're breathing so fast and hard, that's it. Then you're not switching out and getting a new one. After about 2 of these, working hard, you're pretty shot.
There's 2 of you guys going to be an ambulance crew. Okay, so Steve and Andy will be our ambulance crew, and there's 3 of you guys. You guys could be our engine crew. So for this scenario, we'll have our ambulance crew show up first because they have know-how. You guys are going to come in as the engine crew to assist them. Okay. So what you'll do is you'll walk in the door, you'll find them already getting going on CPR. All right. So guys, we'll just have you just not even half a minute ahead of them, just so they're already just pulling up, so they can watch everything you do when you get on scene. So, you guys come on in. We're going to go through it, you guys are going to come in, and then the paramedics are going to come in, and they're going to kind of go through what they do, and we're going to package a patient up, we're going to bring them out, we're going to load them on the ambulance. So, lieutenant, driver, piper, that would be your position. So, drivers, if we need them, they're going to be in helping us, but they're kind of like a runner for us. You'll be running out to get the backboard that I told them that the next crew's going to bring in. Hey, hold on, don't start. Hey. Don't do it while they can't see.
Well, right, so when you pull it out like that, you're the driver. Obviously, you just gotta make sure that you're parking in a safe place.
Yep.
For these guys. You're gonna be securing the truck, especially if we know it's a code. We're jumping off.
Yep.
Quickly. Okay. And making a run for it. You know, if we get there about the same time, we're just gonna go in with them. If they were there ahead of us, they might radio back. Engine 4, grab the backboard, so you would stop their truck, grab the backboard, and off you go, and you'd be,
You have full communication with radios?
Yeah, we all carry radio. Everyone in the department carries radio. And what you would do is if the ambulance is here first, they're not going to come in and back up to the door nice and neat.
Right.
They're just going to pull in, jump out, run in. So our pipemen,
we
Ideally, it's 4 people on the truck, so you got 3 coming in, and you can, and the driver would stay outside and shuttle. Sometimes we just all work together. The driver would turn the truck around, back it up, get the stretcher out, so. So here we go, we're gonna come in, and, I mean, you guys are coming in, we're gonna do this where you pulled up right behind them. So you guys come in, one of you guys just bring the backboard over, these guys will be working, and we'll just talk you through what you're doing.
I'll get it because I'm the driver.
Okay.
All right, when they walk in, you're just now assessing the patient, okay?
We're ready to move?
Park the wheel up, you know, when you lift it to the thing and then up and in.
Depending on where we are, right, if it's a house, a lot of times you can't get the stretcher all the way in. You're carrying them out on the backboard, the driver would have been outside, the doors open, brought the stretcher right to the door. Or if it's a big open area like this, we might be able to wheel it.
Whenever we can get the stretcher in the building, huge.
Oh, I can imagine.
Huge, yeah.
As close as we can to the patient.
Right? Now you get that weight.
Ineffective versus cheap box.
You gotta keep moving the guy too.
Quite often, this happens on the 3rd or 4th floor,
Yeah.
and you're coming down the staircase this
We can
big.
get on the stretcher.
That's really fun.
Getting
All
a
right.
bigger equipment.
So they're ready for it?
Yep. Okay, so you guys come in, you're right behind the ambulance.
Okay.
They just pulled up ahead of you. They called back, they said, we have a code. The paramedics are still on their way now. Oftentimes, the paramedics are coming from Battle Street, which is right on the Leominster-Fitchburg line. So they're probably 3 or 4 minutes behind. A call like this, it seems like it takes forever, but people actually tend to get there quicker. So what these guys are doing, Steve found that there's no pulse. Now right away, there's only 2, so someone's got to come over here, hop in, and it's set up to the defibrillator. It's slippery.
The driver has to be ready to.
One of you could be over here.
Andy would be, put an OPA in.
Brian, to make
Okay,
sure
as soon
each
as
one's
you
on
get it
side.
on, you plug it in, you turn it on. And now you just tell him, I have the defibrillator, let me put the, he's gonna keep going while you do it.
Defibrillator, let me put it back.
Okay.
Now Andy's gonna drop an OPA in, an airway, to maintain the airway. You measure an airway. Quick. These airways, they're different sizes for different people. So you basically want it the size from your ear to the corner of your jaw. And that's how you can tell. Because someone like him and someone like you are a lot smaller than he is, half the size, okay? A full-grown adult male and an adult woman, almost half the size. So, but you can't go wrong as long as you get one in. They come in sideways, then you turn them. If you put it in and someone gags, you don't need to do CPR. Because they will gag. This will hit your gag reflex. So if you try to put this in, you think someone
And they
isn't
gag.
breathing, they gag, they don't need CPR. That's a very good sign.
What's going on?
So now you would be telling them that we've got a full code, CPR's been initiated.
Okay, so what this just said was push to analyze. So now you're gonna stop CPR.
Okay.
Nobody touch him.
Now what this is doing is it's analyzing a heart rhythm, whether it's a shockable rhythm or not.
Stand clear.
Nobody's near the
Want to switch
patient.
Andy? Yep.
Another thing we have to do, we often switch positions so you don't get tired.
All right, we're gonna shock it by just keep doing that.
Charging.
Stand clear. Push
All right,
to
I'm
shock.
clear, you're clear. Right back to seat.
You shock someone, you'll actually see the body will almost jump. Now this is a chaotic situation. We're out in the open. Oftentimes this is going to be someone's living room, kitchen, bedroom. Zero space. Now all of a sudden you have all these people to help, and you usually have a family member or 2 or 10
Like this.
screaming, crying on your back, telling you to save them. So very
So
hectic.
now you would have been here assisting them, saying,
Oftentimes
okay
the
guys,
lieutenants
get the
will come in and
backboard
try to-
ready.
Yep. So let you
All
guys
right,
help
All right,
them.
let's, so now you guys would
Let
be,
them help you guys put them on.
Usually
Don't
what
make it
we'll
so
do,
easy, Steve.
we'll roll them on their side, we'll bring the board right in
Slide the
behind
board
them,
right over.
and then ready, 1, 2, 3, roll them back.
Now you jump right back in those compressions. You always want someone doing compressions whenever you can. Now from this point, the paramedic is here. He's in charge of this patient in the scene. Now you're at his whim. He's going to tell you what he wants, or she.
Will you keep the defibrillator with them on them and
Tuck
carry
that in.
it?
We will.
We put it right in between his legs.
Paramedics show up. They actually carry a monitor that's
Which I have.
He has it.
Yeah.
But for now, they shocked him once,
And now I always judge the amount of time that there's been. Now they're ready to go. So what I would basically do is stay out of the way and we'll just bring them outside and I'll meet them outside.
Okay.
Because that's how long it took me to get here. If I'm here earlier, I do more things. But for this scenario right now, we would do this and then we'll stop everything that we're doing and we'll bring them outside. And they can even lift them.
Yep.
Carry them down.
So we all grab charge and just.
Yep.
Depending on the size of the
Depending on
person.
the size of them.
Yes,
we make
this
that.
is one on each side and the location.
A lot of times this doesn't work if you're in someone's house because you don't have room to walk 6 people on a board. It's usually 2 and people in front of you, behind you, guiding you.
Like, how much does the average guy like this weigh?
Average male is what, around 200 pounds?
200 pounds, probably.
Hey.
There's that camera.
That's where we sometimes.
And honestly, usually a good rule of thumb is as you go up a floor, they go up a few pounds. It's just, that's how it
So they
works.
start at like 150, by the time you get up there, they're 275.
Yeah, but and if they're not, it actually feels that way because
A classic example of what happens almost every call you were talking was how they had to get them around the corner. They had to lift them all the way up into the air on one end because this door doesn't give us enough room. So now they go right, look, they go right down.
every chance you can, you're back on those compressions. Now Andrew just pointed out a good point, whether you guys even realize it happened or not, to make that corner right there, which is a relative, you guys had to go up over your heads.
Right.
All right, now think of doing that on a small little winding staircase. You're almost standing this person upright. So it really takes a team effort. Yep, you want to stop. Just stop to get them in.
So a lot of the 3-family stairs, we don't have enough room to bring the board down sideways. We literally are walking down with the board vertically.
And you can see how chaotic it is just with us talking you through it. Our ambulances have a little more room in them, which is nice because we do this. They do this all the time. I mean, and they do a lot more, a lot less here, ambulance size.
Then I would be here.
Now often what's going to happen is, now all of a sudden you have a couple ambulances and a fire truck. We're all going to the hospital. The fire truck, everybody. We're going to have the paramedic, and usually 2 paramedics. One of their helpers, one of our guys is going to be in there. So now your 3-man engine crew is going to be out of service because one of your crew is going to hop on their ambulance and drive it and follow you. So all of a sudden you can see now we're going up the road as a parade.
Generally, at the very least, if MedStar didn't have a second ambulance available with another paramedic, there's going to be 2 of our rescue 1 crew in the back. They'll go drive it from the engine. Pipeman will drive our ambulance, and then we'll have 2 of us and the paramedic in the back because they still need to be able to drive their truck.
Why is that guy called a pipeman?
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 Yeah, what's that?
The nozzle on a hose.
Oh, okay.
Throughout history it's been called the pipe.
Okay.
So you're a pipe.
You want to be pipeman 1. You don't want to be anything below pipeman 1.
Oh, okay, I'll remember
We have
that.
pipeman 2, but pipeman 2 doesn't get the pipe. You'll see that when we go throw some water.
Pipeman 2 stands at the bottom of the stairs.
Another thing is MedStar has these fancy stretchers with batteries to go up and down. Ours do not have that. Ours you would have to lift the whole thing up.
Saves your back.
Saves your back.
So you all respond to a thing, it's ALS, right? Yeah. And the MedStar takes it to the hospital.
Yes.
You guys, they're on their own?
We
You
transport.
You follow?
We transport.
We're all in line with
come
truck.
with us.
Oh, they will come
Yeah, they
in.
will ride in our
We
truck.
would lose our pipeman to drive this truck.
I think he's talking about any ambulance.
Well, I'm just saying, if you all go there and everybody, because you think it might be ALS, and it turns out that it is, and MedStar is going to be applying this, and they're going to do it in your vehicle?
Yes.
Really?
Everything goes in our vehicle. We transport it.
I see.
Unless one of our ambulances is, then
And so if it happens to North Leominster and the ambulance comes from downtown, you send this engine over? You go with them?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then they'll go right to the hospital?
if it's a regular ALS
They
ball,
lose one of their guys. They lose one of their guys to drive a pipeman.
Oh, they have to, right?
Then they have to go get it.
Yeah, because you don't want to get it.
or they don't have guys. You have to have at least 3 guys in to be in service.
All of us are actually trained to assist these guys. We work with them on a regular basis, especially the guys on the ambulance. We're assist to help them with stuff, like use, spike IV bags to them. So we're kind of extra sets of hands for them.
You'll be a step ahead of them as to what they're going to need while they're doing their thing.
Now this is one scenario that's pretty, you're in a building and everything. The one that I'm curious about is you've got a car accident. Right now you have a scene, right? You may be first, the police aren't there yet, right? And so you don't know what's going on, and you're gonna do all this stuff and sort of control the scene, right? You can find yourself on the ambulance intersection, and that's
You have to kind of
look at traffic,
right.
dealing
All
with
that.
police, telling people,
Getting them out of the way. Right.
Yeah, and how many times is there another accident? People driving by watching the accident, right? So, you know, someone's got to be there to make sure everyone's safe.
that's actually one of the scenarios that
Yeah.
That's I mean, this is one scenario, but the surroundings are controlled.
very much so.
Right, when you're in a car accident on the intersection, it's a mess, right? You got to control that as well as
And we'll be yelling back saying, "Where are the police? We need traffic control."
And sometimes they're the hardest ones for us to work with, the police, because their whole focus is to get the road open.
Yeah.
Hurry up, what are you guys doing?
They don't want you taking a lane.
State police don't care, they'll shut the whole highway down, take us home, and we don't care. Local police just want the road opened up.
You know, it's also like, and like they said too, dealing with family members, especially when you're doing a call like this, is some of the toughest things. 'Cause you got people yelling at you. I mean, especially kids. Kids are the absolute worst. You know, if you do a kid call like this,
We were at one of those kids, as long as it's kind of talk it out, just finding also
That, yeah.
I can say from personal experience, my husband is doing photos on me today. He's
That's
been
what I
about
found
to
the
twice,
hardest
if you
thing
guys
to deal
think.
with the mother.
One with the lemons, first one, he ended up
Always
with a blister,
been-
the
it's
second
the
one he
second
had
Now, can they go with
lemons, and the next day,
Depending on the situation, if a kid just
didn't have to do
has fever,
CPR,
doesn't
but
feel
everything else that went on,
good, the mother
it was
with that
phenomenal.
they reassure kids.
So-
Kids scared to death.
Right.
If it's a critical injury, we usually try to keep them down.
Yes. In some cases, you'll see people in the car, but you won't see What's that? Well, you can sit there if you want.
Nope, gone.
Make sure that nobody falls. There's a plastic getting off. It's a long seat.
Good. So you're gonna go in the nozzle. We're gonna go high. Ready for water? Ready.
So their first in bag, which is green, has an oxygen in it, a blood pressure cuff, a BVM, and some random band-aids and stuff. So this is my first in bag, what I can do as a paramedic, okay? The difference is, it looks different. It's a different bag, but the difference is what's inside the bag. Now I carry everything they carry. So I have a BVM, I don't have oxygen supplies in this particular bag, but the difference is that when you go inside my bag, I have all these pouches. Well, this pouch here is purely for IVs, because I can do field IVs. So this is everything that I need to put an intravenous line in a patient. So it's all different size catheters, and then all the stuff that I need to finish an IV, tourniquets and everything. So that's one pouch.
What do you put into IV? Morphine or
to begin with, it's to make access to give everything else. So at first it's just normal saline, which is just what our normal body uses as a medium between blood and not having any blood to pump the heart. So that's normal saline. So once the access is made, I can do whatever I want with it, be it drugs, draw labs, get blood. I can do all of that stuff before I get to the hospital. So the first thing I do in just this kit is purely get the IV in. So from there, I can, which is hard to see, for a cardiac arrest in any situation, I have all of these drugs here, which are all different, do all different sorts of things. And this is what really separates this and my monitor, which is my bigger box that's up there, separates a paramedic from a basic EMT. I can give drugs from a low blood sugar, I can bring their blood sugar up by giving them dextrose, to a cardiac arrest. This is epinephrine that will promote the heart to start contracting again, is what we're using it for. We're hoping that's what happens. And then below that I have lidocaine, which is used to get rid of dysrhythmias, which means your heart's not pumping correctly. It's pumping but not correctly, so then I can treat that. And this one, which is ripped open, is to slow down your heart. So if your heart rate's going way too fast, I can slow it down. All the way down to your heart's going too slow and I need to speed it up chemically. So, and then this is a typical aspirin and nitro, which we wouldn't, this scenario wouldn't use this. This is for your chest pains. We discussed going having an MI in the truck or a heart attack. This would be my frontline meds there. Aspirin, everybody should be taking aspirin. Things your blood's out so clot doesn't get in the way of your heart and lets it pump better. And this little bottle here is nitro. Nitro promotes more oxygen.
Don't they do it? Right. Don't they do it in the nasal form now or no?
Yes. I'll show you in a second. So that's just my primary stuff. Now up in this pouch up here are more drugs that are more specific to other items. That's purely quick, fast, inside the house. Now in here, I have Narcan. Narcan's only used for one thing. It counteracts opiates, so heroin. It counteracts a heroin reaction. Okay? That's what that is. These are for respiratory and nebulizers, or MDI, albuterol and stuff. I have it in a different form. It goes inside a nebulizer, which I'm sure everybody's seen. That's there. And then there's numerous other ones here for, well, everything. There's some that makes you so you don't vomit. There's some because you have an allergic reaction. There's some because pregnant females get eclamptic, their blood pressure goes way down, and I can have medicine for that, and so on and so forth. And now, like you were saying, 50% of our drugs can be given nasally. Between Narcan, I can give morphine nasally. All it is this little tiny adapter right here gets screwed onto the end of the vial. And then when you push it in, this creates a mist rather than just liquid. So like you said, I can give a lot of these drugs nasally now. Not all of them, and that's part of the training too, is to know when you can use what and where. So that's that. And then the rest of this in here is all stuff. There's my BVM, you know what I mean? I have fluid that we talked about, the normal saline for an IV. And then to check blood sugars, everybody's seen the glucometer, that's my glucometer, and this all just packs them together. And then on the back side, this one pouch is all Band-Aids, normal BLS, gotta stop the bleeding stuff. There's nothing else good over there. But back here is the intubation roll, and they discussed an advanced airway. I'll take it. I don't like taking it out because obviously stuff's not going right. Now this is just to put airways in, be it a difficult airway or this whole kit is meant for that. It's my laryngoscope that's specifically made.
They can,
specifically,
they'll go right in through your mouth.
This one's specifically made to adjust your airway in order to put a tube. These are the actual tubes that you've seen on any show. You see it sticking out of their mouth. that actually goes in. So then they're all different sizes, all different things. You talked about foreign bodies in the airway. I have tools so we don't lose our fingers. I have actual tools to do that rather than sticking your finger in there. And then I have OPAs like everyone else does. And then I have some securing devices that wrap around the head. That's purely for airway. That's one whole kit for airway. And then like you said, I have another kit for needle crike, and I have another kit for chest decompressions, which are just little packages. That's why they're in there, which is actually, because it's meant to be an emergent thing, it's not meant to be a permanent thing. Ours are just needles, catheter needles that are they're just bigger than these needles, because it's not going to stay there. It's purely to get us to the hospital, and then they're going to take it out and fix it either surgically or whatever else with that. So that's just, and then this is actually not even all of it. I still have another whole drug box full of drugs that's in the truck. That's stored away, and in there, and in that box, which is secured behind 2 locks and a chain, are all my narcotics, stuff for pain control, stuff for, and more of this. The state requires us to carry enough medications to do 2 full cardiac arrests. So I have
in that bag?
No, on my truck. So I have a drug box that's in my cabinet over there that I would never bring it into the house. This will treat everything in the house.
Okay.
We get into the cardiac arrest and get into the truck, that box would come out of my truck and go into whatever truck I'm going into. Be it my own, be it rescue, Leominster's rescue, or wherever I go, my drug box will go with me. No need to bring it in the house. I carry everything I need in the house in this, so we don't have to carry it.
Something out of the control box.
I'm sure
there's a lot of paperwork that goes along with
Yeah, the FDA gets involved. It's really huge. Like I have a lot because I have to be able to treat 2 patients completely. So I have twice as much as an average person would ever take on one call. I carry twice that. And then that's the cardiac monitor that has a big screen on it. Mine's a little bit bigger than everyone else's. In essence, it's the same thing that you see on the wall inside the hospital. The big thing up on the wall, that screen that shows you how the heart rhythm is.
That thing, yeah.
This is it, except it's portable. So this does everything that the hospital does, except mine's portable. And then the pouches are like everything else, a pouch for everything. This is for EKGs for the heart. And this side is a blood pressure. And then this side is for defibrillation, so my defib pads are up here. And then when you turn it on, which, unless we put it on a person, you're just gonna see a dotted line. But when you turn it on, I have this screen that displays all of that information.
So let's say you got a guy on here and you've used a lot of stuff in the kit. You're getting him into the emergency room. The hospital can just take over from where you left off.
That's correct. That's
and
exactly right.
They have
We're in
to fit
essence
with what you have.
That's right. Or they build adapters. Like technically, Leominster Fire's defibrillators are not the same as mine. This is a Zoll product, a company called Zoll. Theirs is from Physio. But I carry adapters in my bag. I carry this adapter right here, so we don't have to peel off a set of defib pads and put on a new set. I just plug this in, and then theirs will plug directly into mine. So we just carry adapters like that. And then
you can see the huge difference in basic life support and advanced life support. This is basically, he's a doctor on the road, for lack of a better way of describing
Like you
it.
can do anything but
He
surgery
does just
out there,
about
it
everything
looks
a
like.
doctor does out here, and
Right.
I mean, sometimes he'd have to call and actually get permission from a doctor, but for the most part, he's making all the decisions that a doctor, and when you pull into the hospital, you got 6 doctors, 6 nurses and 2 doctors coming to help you with what he's making these decisions, and we're assisting him. So it's a huge difference between basic and advanced life support and what you can do.
And the numbers progressively go down on how many service everybody. In this area, we have MedStars here, so we have 6 medics on during the day, 6 paramedic trucks like this on during the day. But still, if you take it down a level, it's like they have 2 BLS ambulances that service how many people in the city of Leominster? 42,000 people. Well, fine, take that scenario, but there is, at any given time, and it happened on Thursday numerous times, at any given time there was one of me for 42,000 people in Leominster, not to mention we provide services to Lunenburg, Shirley, all the prisons, and there's one of me.
But there's actually, this is my contention, when you have shopping on Saturdays, and you have traffic on there, you're really not serving 42,000 people, right? You're serving 60,000.
Correct.
Because how many people, you don't say, are you a Leominster resident when you have a car accident on the 13th?
Right, it's just the number you can use.
Right, but there's on the weekend, it's 50,000 people, right?
Yeah, easy.
And you do Route 2, right?
Yes. Yep.
Route 2, 190. And like you said, typically they have 6 medics on, our 2 ambulance. I can't tell you how many times we've been calling Fitchburg or calling another town because we've used all those resources.
And it's hard to empty out our resources. We have a lot of resources on.
But it happens. And
the final thing in this for me is you drive into the hospital, go through what sort of is at your end, and you bring them in to the hospital.
Depending on the call, and we go right back to the cardiac arrest and pull up. On the way to the hospital.
But are you communicating with them?
Yes. On the way to the hospital, on any ambulance call you do, we have a radio in the back that's Central Mass. They're down in Hudson. We'll call them, you identify yourself, and tell them where you're going, and priority 1, 2, 3.
Now, do you have interface with your computer system at all? Not.
So it's all verbal.
It's all verbal.
Once we go through Hudson, they'll open a private line with the hospital that nobody else can listen on the radio. And you scan it, you can't hear this. We'll tell the hospital a quick 2 minutes what the patient, what the problem is, what we've done, what the medics have done, and then they can determine in the time we're going there how to be ready for this. If it's just a basic call, typically you walk in the door and they're like, oh, we'll be there in a minute. Cardiac arrest and ALS, you pull in, there's 3 or 4 nurses waiting for you.
They have a room already ready usually when we come in for something.
But even the hospital gets overtaxed a lot.
We've promoted and Leominster's graded it is that when they know it's a cardiac arrest, the dispatcher, Leominster, and our dispatchers too, have a chance, they'll call the ER so they actually know that much earlier that we're coming.
Typically, like as soon as we know we have a code or whatever, and we're actively doing CPR, our lieutenant will notify our dispatcher. So we have CPR in progress, notify the hospital. ETA 5 minutes.
You drive right in and it's gone.
Then if we're all in the back doing CPR, trying to get a line in, everybody's doing something, we don't have to worry about stopping and calling the hospital, waiting for them to come on. They already have the notification. We have to notify them one way or the other, whether it's through radio or direct call.
Because when it comes down, there's not a lot of information to get passed. We have a pulse or we don't.
Yeah, we generally have the
They're going to be ready for no matter what.
The age, hopefully, and CPR in progress. We have a 49-year-old male CPR in progress. That's all they need to know. That was traumatic or whatever, that'll all be figured out once we get there.
Once we do get to the hospital, they're waiting. We go right in the room. More often than not, a couple of us will actually stay in the room and help out. Keep doing CPR until they've kind of filtered in one by one.
Yeah, it's common for one of us to be doing the compression while they do that.
And then, once that's done, you're talking 20 minutes or so before you get yourself back to service.
That's amazing.
It's a lot of controlled chaos.
It's phenomenal. The other guys we hope we never have to see. But it's nice to know this is here.
Absolutely.
But the biggest question I think we get, people, there's so many things we could tell you about, and the biggest question we get is, how come there's always 2 ambulances?
Exactly.
Well, how come there's a fire truck and 2 ambulances? Why do you need that many people for one person? You could see just something like this, you need a lot of people. And like I said, a lot of times it's not in an office, in a wide open room.
Right.
It's a lot of work, it's labor intensive.
The last one we had was in a single bathroom. The last code I worked, he collapsed forward in a single bathroom. And it didn't come in as a code, so there was only 2 of us. Me and my partner found him like that. We managed to drag him out into the hallway and start CPR before.
That's one of the worst things you run into is not knowing you're going for something like that.
Yep.
You think you're going for someone who doesn't feel good. Hey,
we got called for the person. We got called for the person really coughing up blood.
Because now all of a sudden you're there. Yeah, we're there. We're doing our job. But we're waiting 5 minutes for our engine and 5 or 6 minutes for a medic. That's a long time.
That's a long time.
And if you've ever called for an ambulance, I've worked on the ambulance. I worked on it full time for 6 years. It feels like we're there in a flash. A couple weeks ago, my neighbor fell down. I called for an ambulance, and all I kept saying is, "Where the hell are these guys?" But when I looked after, it was 4 minutes. 4 minutes is a lifetime when you're hurt or someone your loved one's hurt.
When he had his heart attack, I mean, you were there in like 3.5 minutes, but that was the longest 3.5 minutes of my life.
The longest,
yep. And that's another reason we send the truck. Is the ambulance is coming from downtown. we've got 2 outlying stations, one in North Leominster, one in South Leominster. We're all EMTs, we've got equipment on the fire trucks, whoever's closest, they're gonna go get there first, they can start something before that ambulance arrives.
Fascinating.
And then another reason why you can often see some more than one truck is disposition of the patient. We never know where we have patients that wake up but after being shocked are angry at us. They were just doing CPR and now he's mad at us.
Yeah, it brought you back to life.
That was our last one.
Wow.
Overdoses the same way. Once they give them the Narcan
don't wake up
and they come
happy.
to it, they wake up very, very angry.
They don't realize they were just about dead and you just saved their life. They're just mad at you.
Never thought of that.
But it's not the person, it's
Right.
what's in their body and what they're going through. So
Very impressive.
You guys are going to be in full gear on air. We're going to stick Randy in the corner. You're going to go look for him. You're going to put Randy in the corner.
We make no nonsense.
What do you do with her when you find her is up to you. Basically, we're going to take the charge hose line up the stairs. You're going to enter the room, do a left-hand search, which means keep the person on the nozzle, keep the left hand on the wall. People behind him are going to help with the hose. We're going to search around the room. The second and third person will have tools. You have to sweep the floor and try to find. It's going to be smoked out up there. See some of the blocks being down here.
So we have a gallon.
They'll let you know. It's dark out up there. Be fogged, so you won't be able to see very much without your mask on, so it'll be difficult to communicate with each other. Give you a sense of what it's like trying to work in a fire situation. If for some reason you're not liking the mask or anything, be functional, like breathable up there, take your face piece off. If you don't want to wear it, that's fine. You gotta get it.
Oh, I'm wearing it.
If you want to fake your way through it. Let's refine Randy.
I'm not in trouble, but somebody that you don't like might be.
Coming?
You can probably hold off for just a second.
How far do I, how close do I stay to her?
You want to stay arm length away.
Yeah, you want to basically be right here.
You want to be able to touch your shoulder.
Only keep my left hand on the wall, right?
Yep.
And you never leave the nozzle going up. If you start to pull and it gets tight, you'll turn around and be like, hey, I need more line. And then they'll do it. So like the ends. Then bring it across. But you're always going to stay up.
See, I'm here to be your expert witness that you did not put anything heavy on your back.
All right, going here.
Go on here.
When you get repeated support.
All right, up and away.
The imaging, so at least comes through the imaging
Yep. Every once in a while, stop and listen. Okay, keep going. You hear the move?
That's Randy right there.
You on the other side of the door.
You gonna leave them?
Alright, are you okay? Can you walk?
Sure, I can walk.
Alright, can you come back with us?
Sure, go ahead.
Alright,
All right, so what you're gonna do is drop the hose line, and you're gonna turn and follow it all the way out. Use your hands and feel it, and go right back the way you came.
You okay with it?
yeah. It doesn't matter.
I'd be fine.
Sorry, Bob.
Stretch my knees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you wait.
I can take anything else.
And when we're done, we'll take a look at these gauges, and we'll show you just how much air we breathe.
You look funny without glasses.
Just pass the mic. They already
I feel funny without glasses.
Your DP vibrator will go up. When you get to a quarter of a tank, that's what's gonna play around.
I can wear my glasses under the mask.
You can?
Because of these.
Yeah.
Yours are.
You hear that tap pressure going on? Wiggle a little bit.
Jay, they're all set.
What's up, sis? Wiggle. When you get to the top, we're gonna crawl.
Just go back to the corner. And up through the... Find the door and go through the door. There you go.
We get right in and crawl, okay?
Yeah, underneath the bench. Or at least down low there.
Or at least, yeah. Keep going.
As long as you're on the hose right now.
Okay, good. If you're on the wall, the hole, you're good. Yep, keep going. You guys are doing good. And now you're looking for windows and doors. You're going to stay low, always feeling on the left side. As soon as you feel the door, you want to go in that area and check it out. Water's coming again.
Water's coming.
Yep. So you feel the door? Stay low and going right in that room. Let your partner know there's a door and you're going in. Okay? Do the same.
Guys, take a moment, stop and listen.
Yeah, you want to go on the line's right below you.
Igor's in here.
Okay? You can go in if you want.
All right. We drag him out. We're not going to make you do that today. So right now, We're gonna turn around this hose line and follow the hose line out. Leave the hose line right where it is. We're gonna crawl down.
Normally you follow that hose line right back out, okay?
How we doing? Good. You follow it right out. Good. Rescue Andy. Watch your head right there.
Okay, Rev, you're at the top of the stairs now, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna sit down on your butt. You wanna go down the stairs, one step at a time, feeling with your feet first, and then you're compromised.
Turned out and collapsed. Are they all out here? So you want
Yes,
to
they're
slide
all
down
out.
and check.
Do you need this?
Go and check on the bread.
Stop it. Stop it.
Wow.
See how that works for you.
But leave my shoes on?
Yeah, you can, yeah, your shoes should slip right through that.
Okay, I can't ever be a firefighter. It takes me too long to get done.
You have 1 minute.
Are you
That's
serious?
the standard, is 1 minute to get.
1 minute to get all this
The whole thing, yeah. And that includes your CBA, that demonstration we
If
had.
it took you a minute, you have guys in the truck saying, let's go!
You don't have trouble with me. I know that's why I read all those books.
So we're going to CPR, it's gonna be in the back room back here.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to see if this,
Yeah, I'll take it.
I just want to make sure this.
That's good. Got a little bit of
Cool,
emergency last
you're all
week.
set.
It's heavy though, huh? Material-wise?
The gear with pants?
A lot of weight in these.
Yeah.
You have a coat? I got,
I didn't get a coat yet. Oh.
I have tools.
Oh, wow, look at all kinds of pockets.
How was it?
Fun.
Good.
Yeah.
You might swim in that,
You guys, are you going to the station? You see where you're at, right?
I guess, yeah.
pretty good. Get something a size smaller?
Maybe.
CPR?
I can't tell if it's just the
Yeah,
it's bulky.
Well, you got all the stuff hanging off. You don't have to be walking around with it.
This is a non-outfit.
Yeah, it's a little bit later already. Yeah, these have just got the clips. This is older gear.
So you every call you put this on.
Fire calls, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ambulance call.
Box, no. The guys on the ambulance calls are just regular street gear.
Any other trucks going out, you're putting this on before you even get on the truck, right?
Exactly. Or now with the 4-door cabs, we can get dressed as we're going to the call. What a lot of guys will do, they'll put the pants on, put that up, hop in the truck, and then they'll finish getting dressed on the way to the call. Yep.
Oh, God, yeah, we did.
But yeah, I mean, we gotta get off the truck ready to go. I mean, if, you know, it's part of the job. I mean, during the summertime, if it gets real hot and humid, we'll allow them to dress down a little bit, and we'll get a little bit more
I'm a large, so.
yeah, that is just a ratchet system. You can
Okay.
spin that.
Right, tighten. Yeah, so start on the big side. And then tighten it down.
Yeah. So what, righty, tighty? It moves a little bit, but that feels all right.
You don't want it too tight either.
Yeah, I don't want it.
Is that too tight? Is that good?
Nope, that's good.
That's good.
Pair of gloves.
That's probably okay.
Pair of gloves.
Neat.
I'll tell you, that
Okay, I'm fine.
back is impressive.
I know they're gonna, yeah.
The building's looking good.
We're going to car fire.
Oh, all business.
Yeah, they had one fire.
Very good.
Still doing a lot?
Yeah. This is the first weekend we shut
So I
down.
take it like when you guys
probably-
get dressed, you don't meet each other.
No. A lot of military still?
That's all right, we practice.
Research and development and stuff.
Hello, you see this?
How about automobile industry stuff?
We picked up,
Yep.
all the Camaro lenders now.
So the people
Yes,
that
right.
auto extrication will go to
Yeah.
search and rescue.
You look good, firefighter.
No, auto extrication will come down to the search and
Right
rescue.
now, I feel like I'm about 50 pounds overweight.
Yeah, the paramedic will go to the extrication.
So business is good.
CPR
huh?
is
Yes, it is. I've been talking with
Yeah.
about
Yep.
coming down some night.
Okay, thanks, Rob.
Yep.
And she said some night, if you're free, maybe the three of us go down.
Yeah.
Anyone want to work
Spend
staff
some
hours
money, how we
tonight?
did it. Anytime you might be interested.
What's your take on that whole discussion? What happened? She left now, right?
Now, this is a shot for the papers.
Unfortunately, she was really good. Sometimes, I think that was a communication issue.
Those things are, we can take.
Some of us have the same problem.
I know, can you believe, I wore the helmet once and look what happened. Got it right off the top.
Am I gonna be shiny after?
What happened is the football.
That's a little better.
You need tools. My pockets are full.
Me too.
You was dead, but the others were.
Yeah. The city doesn't function that way. Politics in general don't function that way,
They're
right?
trying to run it like a business.
Yeah, exactly. Lean and mean.
Lean and mean. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's.
That was about 30 years ago.
Where
do you guys come from?
Ambulance.
Stay in the helmet.
Not, yeah, we get that out of the way. So
This is
Feel
warm,
a little
huh?
top heavy.
Yeah.
And we're not even in a fire.
we're not even outside.
Oh, you will be one shortly.
You guys need water?
I'm all set.
I'd like to take one with me if I could.
Yeah, absolutely. This.
Got in the
I don't want
pocket.
the extra weight.
We got
No.
in the pocket.
Right in the pocket.
Right in your pants pocket. Right on the side.
Right.
Come on over here.
I'll take you later on.
You wanna get up to your blanket? All right, we'll try. First day is good. Okay, this is the car fire station, okay? What you're gonna do, what you're not going to do is have an SCBA on, which we always do. Okay, breathing apparatus, you normally get off the truck with that on. You fold.
How much that weigh?
Well, we'll let you feel it right now. You tell me. Okay?
I want to put it on. I want, after they did, I just want to feel it. I don't want to use it. I just want to feel what it.
Well, you're gonna have it on later. Oh, you already did, didn't you?
No.
So we can
We're
get,
gonna put out, yeah, we keep the ambulance.
Okay.
So we will, but I just want to.
I'll put it on the truck, all right? In this scenario though, you won't be wearing it, okay? But normally you would in a car fire.
Oh, you got the,
That just shows.
There's straps underneath that.
yeah, you want to right. You want to tighten the belt up as much as you can. It's not a big issue. They're right here. Full tabs. There's another side of this.
It's like backpacking.
Really feel it in here. You don't have to.
Your weight is in your shoulders. Just keep it Okay, so normally you're wearing that in your car fire because of some of the things, the tops that are going off in the fire.
this scenario, these two gentlemen are going to bring you in. One person's going to have the can line, the nozzle. You're going to have the propane fire first in the back of the vehicle, which is simulating a house fire extending into the car fire. You hit that fire first, put that out, then you go in, there'll be a fire inside the car. You put that out, the second person will have an overhaul that shows what you have to do, make sure the fire's out, mixing it up, making sure the fire's out. Always approach the car on an angle. Reason being, some of the cars at one time had some pistons and stuff like that can get hot, could pop, blow the button, blow the bumpers off, take you out from these if you don't. Either don't ever approach from the front, or ever approach from the rear. Always from the south. Guys,
What about tank blowing off, gas tank? Is that a real possibility? Do you have to?
25 years I've never seen I've seen some big car fires fully involved. We never saw a gas tank.
Gas is so rich that if you took a match, now don't do this. It's so rich that you threw a lighter, or you threw that flame into that gas tank, it's not going to explode.
Now,
The vapors are what burns.
Some of the new cars have these polycarbonate tanks. Is there a possibility they burn through or something like that, or there's a hole in the gas tank that burns through and the gas spills out and ignites? That's a real possibility. As far as an explosion goes, slim to none. But you could have a massive release of gas that can develop.
You'll get the tire to blow, and you'll be thinking the whole thing's going.
Really?
Yeah, those are.
And they do pop.
Those are exciting.
I know there's the jaws of life thing in terms of the batteries, but you got these hybrids, right? They're loaded with these gigantic batteries.
Right.
That's a whole different ballgame. Yep. Huge voltage, fire. The fire's got to be an issue with that burning battery packs.
That's all new classes.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about electric cars and water?
Propane, fire vehicles on natural gas. Like the bus that run the bridge in Woburn last week and took out the tanks on top and back to the building. Those two cylinders on top of the truck, on top of the bus, are as long as this truck. Wow. So they're carrying a considerable amount of propane. The other thing they're having out there now is you've got ethanol coming on board. There's going to be more and more ethanol. The problem with that is we can't muster enough foam in this whole county to put out a fire in a tank. So it's going to burn. All right?
It's a higher burn than gasoline? Like
it has a different extinguishing method. Okay? A lot of ABC would be nice. But you just can't put that much in one place. So it's going to be kind of a control and let burn type situation. That's one of the new things in the market. Fire service, I teach at the academy on a regular basis. Fire academy, fire service is still learning how we're gonna act. We're gonna school for this. Actually, how we're gonna truly fight this fire. Right now, it's in the infant stage, so it's a new monster out there that we had not witnessed before. So that's gonna happen. Now you've got
a district foam tank
for ethanol.
So that's one of the things that's. It's one of the other issues that's out there.
How they even trucking that stuff around? Ethanol. I mean, I know they mix it with gasoline, but if they're doing pure ethanol, they're trucking it around, right?
Yes. Biodiesel is not regulated. You can make it in your house, burn it in your vehicle, and then you take it back to your truck and you will never know when it's there. That's another one that's out there. And the other one is people have propane cylinders and do not understand that. If you put it back in your pickup truck and you ride around town, this thing decides to leak, it's going to leak. It's going to convert it to 2,000 degrees when it's hot. Right? They had a fire in California, what they call it, soup. Tank blew after the drive. So you just gotta know what's going on. I retired a few years ago. I still play with this stuff from time to time because I'm in the constructor business. They're facing things I had never seen before. Only in I had a class yesterday. I said, okay, where did you go? On this one, now remember, the SCBA, when it weighed, the hose line, once it's fully charged, is going to weigh some pounds too. Plus it's going to be pressure. They're going to be fighting against you. Alright, so this is good people that bring you in, really instruct you how to lean forward into it. Alright, that all okay, who's going to be who's going to have the time?
Dad tell you about the drill at the hospital the other day? No. You talked to that boy? Yes. It was 4 hours. You gonna get that? Really? I figured he was going to tell you. That's why I didn't tell you. No, I got stuff coming up in the fall. Okay.
back on.
Yeah, bring the lights on.
So what's the scene here? Same
fast
come up with these cars on fire.
Yeah, these guys are
You know what you want to watch.
Okay, all right. Grab a hold of that line. Now you gotta remember.
Now you gotta grab on
There's
really
really
tight.
pressure on this line, right? What you don't want to do is open and shut this real quick. Okay?
Because this is gonna push it back.
Open slow, close forward. Okay? Now,
Grab on with
when you rotate it, it's going to change the pattern. It's going to open up a wide fog or a narrow straight. How much do you want? If you're going at this, you're going to want it at a fog. Okay? So we turn it all the way this way. Turn it all the way this way. Turn it back this way. Open the fog. Look somewhere in the middle. Okay? Yep. What we'll do is we'll run water first. We'll show you about the way you want it, and then we'll go after.
Get to the car.
check it out. You get it to the pattern you want it. You got it down. Normally a pipe right now. This is.
You'll see as they start to control, that's what they're doing.
Here comes your water. What you're doing is you're taking the pressure that's coming into you, you're backing her up as well. So the hose line is actually going to, when it goes back like this, you stop the pressure better. So open that up nice and slow.
Long door.
Change your pattern.
I know. Yeah, I know. Sorry. I'm trying to pay attention to you.
Where you get it up?
You got the batting up there now? As soon as we go out of here.
I don't want to get there.
Now, like you said, you want to come in at an angle, right? When you get that nozzle, I'm ready. Put up a fire to the rear of the car. The nozzle is untucked, you just want to swirl it around. When you ignite the fire, as soon as you're ready, it's going to give you water, okay? All on you. When you're ready, you go. Ready. I'm ready. Ready for water.
Say charge the line.
Is that the pipe guy?
No, that's the pump guy.
These people want the water.
Right? I'll never give nothing out.
Never ever.
Even if it's something
Great, how do you do it? You got one there?
Yeah.
I'm out, right?
You be out.
You ready? All right. Here we go. Okay. All right. Ready?
Charge the line.
That's the line.
There you go. Open it all the way. Let's go. One step at a time. Yep. Walk right in.
Nice gadget.
All right.
Not everybody has this good. Hopefully has one in that
See?
gotta use the best couple minutes, right?
The best couple minutes. About 2-minute mark. I got about another 30 seconds to go. I'm burning.
That's it.
I'm impressed though, Chuck. You haven't even melted the plastic yet.
I know, it's amazing. That's why I asked him before a fire.
Yeah, it's got straw inside it. It's a sack of plastic.
Yeah. It's really sad.
You'll be the third guy on the line. So you're back.
I would rather have they step forward. No, just kind of preference. Yeah. And what you're gonna do, when she has that knob, right? If she opens it up, it's gonna be a little back curve. You're doing on the back, so she would have that nozzle, and I'd have my shoulder right into her like this.
I got it.
Leaning this way, so if she comes back, she's not going anywhere.
Now think about which side are you more dominant, your right or your left? Your right. So you're gonna want to be.
I'm righty. That's where I have it. So now you remember the right for the knob, right?
The line.
All right. So you're gonna.
Now remember, it's going to kick back. You just have to drag the line behind you.
Nice and smooth, right? Not quick, but nice and smooth. And then this is going to adjust your pattern. All the way out, it's going to be a nice straight stream, like if you were coming from far away, or you're not. It's going to go back to like a medium fog. Not going to all the way. Right? So now he's going to like, when he likes it, you're going to need water. You would tell your pump operator, charge the line. Yeah. Want to give them a little so they can just feel it? They got to set the pattern. Right up to get the towel wet. Open it up a little bit more.
Am I supposed to back?
Sorry.
Yeah, I was running away.
Right? You feel that? How the pressure?
It's going to be a little bit more pressure. So if you feel like you're going to start losing it, just close the line.
Don't worry, I had your back.
You're fine.
Yep. What you have is you're taking the
push the line forward.
Charge line.
Never give up that nozzle.
Right there, you just got to overhaul the car.
This is the one that we left. We have the bigger one in the back. We had a long way to go. We needed more water because the fire's going really good. 2.5. And when you charge that, there's obviously more water flowing. If you were on it alone, you'd be going back. You definitely need some action. 2.5 is fine. I'm bringing.
Right, this is an inch and 3/4.
Heavy to move. That's how you're going back.
The one that's feeding the truck. We can run with a nozzle on.
It's a weird sensation.
You want a third one? Your old fire? I'll give you your old fire. I'll make you a fire right now.
Now we'll go back.
All right. We got to this wrong.
difference big, everything. A lot bigger of a hose, a lot bigger kick.
Never heard us say go big or go home?
That's it right there. All right, so it's your turn on the nozzle. Roll the back up the end. Yep, you're get right behind it.
He's a big guy, but he's living on your shoulder, right in the back. Leaning right into it. If anything, it's just the security of somebody right behind you. Nice and use your back, so it's a line.
Hey, tell me to watch out.
When you're standing and you're going to open it.
You don't feel
right? Right. Get good stance, so that way you don't have much
I gotta be careful not to, if I would hit her,
See that stick?
Back up.
It's coming back at you.
If it flares up, you just back away so you can open it up. Looks like it's up, right? Okay, right.
Hey, Billy.
All right.
Yeah, it does. It has a weird smell. Doesn't go away. It sucks. All right, you guys want to stand back?
You want to face Dave?
Yep. These plastics are going to fly. Yeah. Face it towards the trees. So, I throw. You guys?
oh, yeah, thanks.
Going in. Hi, Mom. Okay. You guys going to want to block your ears. Go.
This will show the durability of the hydraulics tool.
Yeah. I'm supposed to say fire in the hole, but my finger got
Right,
Your finger got twitchy?
Finger got twitchy.
You had a twitchy finger?
I meant to say fire in the hole. I see that plastic go flying. Just imagine that going up in your face. In your face. You have the car. See that?
Yes. That's definitely YouTubeable.
Yeah. We get a lot of calls saying that the car's on fire and someone's trapped in.
Now. Let's deploy at 200 miles an hour in your face.
Right, so you see what we had to go through to get someone out of a vehicle. There was only 3 of you.
Yeah.
Plus, Tom here, and Mark inside the car. Anyway, so you got to realize that to respond to a car accident, or like I said, responding with the rescue, the deputies showing up. Yeah. The engine company showing up, the ladder showing up. Now, all the people are on those vehicles, you've got 6 or 7 people. You need them to set up. Everybody knows their job beforehand. Everybody's grabbing the cribbing, you know, the stretcher, the backboard, everything's being put in place. So as soon as we can get inside that vehicle, we can stabilize the patient and start working on the car to get them out.
You can think of all the different jobs from a simple car wreck as well. So you're pulling up on scene and checking, are there power lines down? Is there fuel there? How many victims do I have? Did any get ejected? Are there little kids under the car? I've got to set the cribbing, pull the jaws, mitigate the airbag hazards that are in the car. Oh, and by the way, if those deploy on you, you know what they used to use in those? Sodium azide was in rocket fuel. That's what's potentially hitting you in the face.
So you get an older car with it.
So it's...
Yeah, those older cars would be up to 300 miles an hour. Yeah. Versus the lower ones at 200 miles an hour.
There's a million things to think about. It's not just a two-man job.
Right, and then one of the things that you want to do too is, you notice before we break any glass or cut any glass, we cover the patient with a sheet or a blanket. As we tell them beforehand, every step we do, we're telling them beforehand so that they don't get more nervous or anxious and want to try and get out of there. But the first thing we don't want is to have to do more damage to their spine. So every procedure we do, if we're going to say, all right, we're going to cut the window, we're going to break the glass next to you, we're going to do this and that, the noise and everything else is what you're expecting. You know, even if they're unconscious, you still want to talk to them because they still can hear you. You know? You know, that's our main thing is safety and patient care.
And not to mention, after an accident like that, a lot of times you may have something more severe than a person sitting there comfortably. So in other words, family members in precarious positions next to them, missing appendages, things like that. So it's not always rosy.
Right, and if the patient is conscious and alert, one of the first things you ask them, are you the only one in the vehicle? Was there anybody in here with you? Yeah, I had my baby strapped in the back.
Well, there's no baby in the back seat.
No baby there. One of the things you're going to do too at an accident scene, especially if it was a rollover, and it's sitting up like this or even on its side, you're going to look underneath the car, see if there's somebody underneath it. They got ejected, tossed in the air, and then the car rolled back down on top of them, or over them.
Or every kid with an iPod nowadays, listening to the loudest music on the planet, doesn't know there's somebody about to run them over.
So I mean, it's a scene assessment as you're pulling up a lot of times. You know, sizing it up and everything. That's what you want to do. One last thing on the airbags. Airbags are designed not to deploy from 0 to 8 miles an hour. They're designed to deploy anywhere from 10 to 12 and beyond. The older 90 cars are actually higher. They don't go up to 14 miles an hour on the 1990 cars. For 2000 and above, sometimes they won't deploy at all. The bumper was never hit, but there's sensors in the bumper.
Sensors in the bumper. There's usually 2 sensors.
Right.
Two sensors, both sensors have to hit at the same time. They're like pendulums, best way of describing it. Both sensors have to hit at the exact same time. You hit one and the other, they won't go off. All safety features built in.
And cars now are designed to accordion. The whole front of the car. We call the A-pillar, just right where the windshield is, that's the A-pillar. So they're designed to accordion from the bumper to the A-pillar, and then from the rear bumper to the rear tire. They're made to take up the shock. Everything's plastic. It's not like your old 88 Delta, you know, where it was all steel and you had a 20 mile up in the driving seat. Yeah.
Yeah. You have any questions? Well, grab some water and relax for a few minutes. We'll be moving fairly soon. Yeah, I'll take your coat off. Get some play around the ground.
Thank you. You guys head over to the What do you think? Good. Nice and hot. Water. Yes. One yet? Well, I want to get the whole place.
feel that the experience?
Like I said, like I was saying, that's an inch and 3/4. This is the 2.5. Alright? That's a 2.5 with a vlog style, like you just had, or a 2.5 with a straight streak. Okay? And there's no water in that. Pick this one up. That's full of water.
So this on there
connects to
It's
that
for a
line
really
right
big
there.
time. Did you see 5th Street when it was going good?
Yeah.
I sat outside of 5th Street in the street with a 2.5 like this, and it wasn't even making a dent. That's how big that was going.
So the difference, the inch and 3/4, you're looking at about 175, 150, 175 gallons a minute. Where here, you're looking at about 250 gallons a minute. A lot more weight, so it takes a lot more manpower to maneuver it. As you can see, dragging the line to the car. If that would have been a 2.5, it would have been twice as much work.
Now, if you're, let's say doing a forest fire, how much line are you going to have laid out? Where you're up, you know, a remote sort of scenario.
Depends on how big.
200 feet, 100 feet?
Depends on how big.
1,000 feet?
500, 1,000.
500,000?
How deep?
A smaller
How deep you're in?
diameter hose.
You'll go smaller.
Yeah, we
Well,
have
it's a
brush
lot
fire.
smaller. A little bit bigger than a garden hose.
Oh, for that type of thing.
Yeah.
But if you were going to a fire, this one, you probably have 100, 200 feet out of this size?
Yeah.
Unlock relays like that. 250.
So that's another thing when we do the size up when we get off the truck. The lieutenant would look at, how far we gotta go. You know, am I gonna reach it with this line, or am I gonna have to go to the back to the big one?
And then you got a number of lines, right? But how many can you run of those different line sizes?
Depends on how much water you have. Depends on the hydrant, on the water main.
Because each one of these flows 250 gallons a minute.
And you have to size up what the hydrant.
There he goes.
You'll know as soon as you open
They
it
already
up.
went there.
It gets water to your truck.
You'll see the pressure.
They're gonna do it right now. All groups have gone through the fire? Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, where you have the static pressure that's coming from the hydrant, right? It's pump pressure. Then as it starts to use lines, the different lines come off. As a drop comes, you can tell. Then you get down to zero pressure. You don't want to ever get down to zero.
Right.
Then you press up to the negative and you hit captation. So it all depends.
This line starts getting soft on you. And you're pulling more water up than you get.
Then you
Right.
So a lot of times it looks like the pump operator just standing around doing nothing. He's got a lot
That
of
was one of our
responsibility.
problems on Blossom. You would think coming off of West Street was going to be a big main.
Is that sort of the exception? I mean, is it pretty consistent, pretty good everywhere? You know, you get pockets there and there?
Yes,
Is it how big
dead
the
end,
mains are?
if you're on the far end of it,
It's not
you know,
a
the dead end.
big problem.
No.
You mostly have the water you need. Now, what do you carry on a truck that carries on water?
They have tanks inside the truck.
Yeah, how much is that?
Every truck is different. So that's 500.
Gallons.
Right.
Which
250 gallons a minute.
4 minutes.
It's gone. It's water. Right. You got a 500-gallon tank for 4 minutes. You got it.
So that's first thing you do. Maybe you run out, you burn your 500 gallons up.
Usually we start by running off
You're
tank
hoping
water.
engine-
Second
you're hoping
due
the
engine
second
will
due
come in,
engine
pick
is-
up the hydrant, and bring you a hydrant line. Hopefully you haven't run out of
You'll
water.
drop the line at the hydrant.
Right.
That guy will
And
start
the
pumping
second
right
engine,
away
right,
with
with your tank, yeah, and then the second engine coming in is doing the hydrant, hooking up your hydrant line to it.
And a lot depends on
You're hoping it's within what you got. It's within that 3/4 minutes.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's because it's going to take, you're not flowing right away. You know, we got to get off the truck. We've got to grab the line and we've got to get it straight out right now. We got to, mask up, make our way. We like to get as close as we can before we charge it. A lot easier to move the dry, charge, and then we pull the water. So that's one time there. It's helping out.
And originally at the scene, you're usually really working.
Oh, we like to
We wash them, hang them, dry.
just to make sure. And then we mark the tag.
Yeah, they get hose tested every year. Yeah.
You guys need any water? We have one. I have one over there.
down, we got a break.
Pretty impressed with the battery retro.
That's what we need.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. Take back.
Retro.
You're gonna see.
Right?
You're
And
gonna
you're not
see the
doing
difference.
this.
Now you're gonna see the difference.
bring the
one
spreaders
with the hydraulic coming from the heavy rescue, and then we're gonna switch to the battery operated ones. The hose lines aren't pulling you, or the weight isn't balanced.
The batteries are good. They're comfortable.
They're balanced.
That's something we're looking to go to.
But if you look at our
Batteries?
Yeah. We don't have that. This is Tom Root here from Firematic. He's been nice enough to do that.
What you gotta realize with on the hydraulic ones, you're connected to the truck. So if you're going from the cutters to the spreaders, you gotta shut the valves off up there, release the pressure down here, disconnect, and then reconnect. And then someone's gotta be at that truck all the time. They have to get the signal.
Right, but can you run those things? I mean, what do you have to have that vehicle to run those?
No.
You can run those on any fire truck.
No. Really? We have them on the ladder as well.
You need the hydraulic ones or
What
the
about an
battery?
engine?
They have none.
They can't. So if you go to a scene, and he's there first.
Yep.
And he needed.
The
he
Jaws?
can't. Yeah, the
Oh,
Jaws.
Jaws
He
that we
can't,
have
but he
now?
could run a battery one.
Yeah.
Right.
Put a battery one in the back of the car.
Exactly.
They're expensive.
How much? More, you know?
We need like $40,000 all set up.
To totally
One.
convert? Oh, for one.
Well, what
For one truck.
One set.
One set.
One set.
And see, right now we have Jaws on ladder 1, ladder 2, and the heavy rescue.
Now ladder 2's a reserve.
Would it make sense to leave those as it is for now, and as part of the conversion, start to spread them out on more vehicles, or that doesn't really buy you much? In other words, ladder 1, ladder 2, and this thing's always at the scene anyway.
You wouldn't have the
manpower. If
run
an
it,
engine
I
company
see.
pulled up and the car was on fire,
have it on our ladder.
their concentration first is to put the car fire out,
We'll take care of the patient.
take care of the patient, and then
But who goes to a car accident where you're going to use this thing?
car accident, you're gonna have the rescue, the deputy, an engine company, and the ladder. Because the ladder carries all the,
He's got the
We're the
truck.
wrecking tools.
we're the wrecking tools. We're the ones that tear apart the vehicle to get in.
Everybody has their own job, and it's all pre-laid out.
No, what I was trying to get at is the battery thing give you flexibility to spread it across more vehicles? That's really not the big thing. It's
No,
just the
manpower is the big thing.
Yeah, it's to be able to have more manpower and more.
You'll see.
We could jump off the ladder with those and go right to the car without getting all set up and leaving a guy at the truck now because he's got to.
Usually I'm the driver of the ladder, so I would stay with the ladder truck. So when they have to change, like disconnect the Jaws with the hydraulic system, I can shut the valve off. They can leave the pressure at their end, switch the tool that they want, and then I have to be there to turn it back on.
We've got two hooked up. We've got two lines on the new ladder. We've got two lines, right? So we've got the Jaws and the spreaders hooked up at all times.
At all times.
But if you wanted to switch, we have a RAM that we can spread things apart. You would have to switch one of those over. How you doing? This is Tom Rufia from Firematic. How are you? We get a lot of our equipment from him. He's been nice enough to bring down his battery operated stuff so we can.
They're our number one vendor for lifesaving.
Yeah.
I'm also a firefighter in Lancaster, fire instructor, and I like that as well. So I'm like in the business as opposed to just being in sales. What's up, man?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
We're going to be working on the white car. Okay, we've got car accidents. We're going to pretend that somebody's in it. The junkyard stripped all the seats out. We had to go down and get a seat to put the patient in. This one, what we're going to do is, first thing you're going to do as you're approaching the scene, and let's say you're in a vehicle, you make sure that there's no wires across it. There's no fluids leaking from it. Gasoline, antifreeze, oil, or anything like that.
That's always, almost always the case, though, isn't it? Some
Right,
floor.
so we have to mitigate that when we get
Right,
in.
so that's one of the, wires are across it, you do nothing, you call back the fire alarm, say we need mass elect down here, we have power lines across the vehicle. You're not gonna go to the vehicle. The patient's gotta stay in there. They try and get out, they're gonna get electrocuted.
They're not
You go over
grounded,
to it.
so essentially they're safe. But if we contact the vehicle, we complete that circuit, we're toast.
We're gonna fry. Usually the power lines are what, about 13,000 volts, I think, coming through them, so you're not gonna survive. Okay? You're gonna, let's say you're gonna pull up, you size it up, there's no power lines, no fluids leaking. Next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna grab ribbing, you're gonna stabilize the vehicle. So it doesn't take off. In car accidents, 99.9% of the time, the vehicle's still in gear and it's running. So you're gonna chalk the wheels. You're gonna chalk the wheels to make sure that the car doesn't take off on you unexpectedly, okay? Usually somebody, we all know, we all have, everybody that's on the trucks and the ladders and the rescues, they all know what they have to do. We've done this hundreds of times. Someone's gonna be going over there trying to pry the hood open or get it open and cut the battery wire, okay? That's one of the, make sure the patient's stabilized. Cut the battery wires because it takes about 3 minutes to totally disconnect the capacitors inside the airbags. So while everybody else is grabbing, cribbing, the jaws, getting set up, making sure the patient's all right and all set, that's discharge. We're gonna and then then everybody, you know, gonna say we're gonna take this side of the car off the doors to get out to the patient.
So what is first aid being applied to the patient after after the car?
As soon as we know the car is stabilized and safe.
You say
First, we'll have somebody, we'll have one of the ambulance guys in the car with the patient.
Somebody will scroll through the window, do a quick assessment, trauma assessment, everything else, find out what we're dealing with. Yeah, I got secondary entrapment, his foot's tucked, you know, under the pedal. What do we have to do? And he initially starts to get vitals and start to do patient care inside the car. Everybody else's job is to take that car and remove it from around the bullfront.
And once the guy inside the car puts traction on that neck, he don't let go. His hands are on that guy's head. He stays there always with it.
And he's
Because
the boss.
he shifts his body and he's talking to the patient all the time. He's telling him what we're going to be doing each step of the way. If we're going to break glass, we're going to cover him with a sheet or a blanket. So, you know, he's not saying, am I dying? You know, no, you're going to tell him.
You're going to hear a loud noise, it's going to be the glass breaking, you're going to feel it against the blanket. You know, he gives him the update as we're going along so that he kind of knows what to do. You're going to hear something, we're cutting the door off, you're going to hear some noises, you're going to hear some creaks, you know.
Let him know each step of the way what's going on around him. So he doesn't panic.
There's 1,000 things in the vehicle to be knowledgeable about. Where could airbags deploy? Where are the electrical sources? What's going to move when he pops the door down here? Do I need to get myself and the victim clear first?
So these cars have 7, 8 airbags.
Some of them have
Up to 13.
There's in today's vehicles, based on the fact that VW and Audi came out with a couple in the last year and Ford came with a center bag, there could be 16 airbags in any of 18 different positions domestically.
They're under the dash now, they're in the seats, they're center console,
Side curtain. Floor bags, believe it or not.
This is what we're worried about as firefighters, is this yellow loom. Yellow loom to us is airbags. If there's an orange cable, that's high voltage, that means it's a hybrid. So we stay away from this, and we stay away from the orange cable. Because the hybrids can have up to 150,000 volts running through that cable.
That's one of our things too, is we cut the battery, the regular battery, the 12-volt battery on the car. If it's a hybrid, we try and get to the battery pack, usually in the trunk, and we pull the main.
Is there any sort of these hybrids are getting big, right?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything that sort of may happen to you guys?
Yes. There's generally, you know, 40 plus different hybrids out there right now. Next year it'll be 60. Okay. And if you were to look at, for instance, the 2012 version Camry gas versus 2012 Camry hybrid, they're in the exact same package. So we don't know that there's a hybrid there, especially if the trunk's gone at 3 in the morning.
Right outside.
So what we have as firefighters are procedures that we follow. So our SOGs on a daily basis mean we show up, we chalk the vehicle. Because when a hybrid's sitting in neutral or when it's sitting at a red light, what's it sound like? Nothing. It's like a golf cart. So we chalk the wheels. That takes us to step 1. 2, the person that scrolls in does 2 things with that car. First is park, and the second would be what? Ignition. Turn it off in one form or fashion. So by turning it off, believe it or not, on the hybrids and all electrics, it takes the power that's in those cables, sucks it right to the battery in the back, whether it's a nickel metal hydride or a lithium. So when it sucks it back, we're a little bit safer. And then what we got to do from then on is find a 12 volt, because a lot of people don't realize even those battery powered cars have 12 volts. So to answer your question, if we follow our general procedures, we're safe in those vehicles. But if we sit there and we try and learn 40 different vehicles and how to power them down appropriately, by next year we've got 20 more to learn and the other ones have been revamped.
There should be some sort of indicator when you go right up that's really obvious, but you start cutting through the cable, through the rocker.
The first thing you do is when you start to, before you make a cut, if you're going to expose, you're going to make a cut like on a pillow or something like that, you have to have somebody inside and open it up.
Yeah, strip all that stuff out of there so you can see if it's
pull the plastic.
Yep, comes out really
easy. We got to open that up, because
Plastic,
inside you could have seatbelt pretensioners, which are gas-filled cylinders. That's like a bomb.
So you don't,
okay. We have to strip stuff out. You don't do it on your own car, so you don't know how easy it comes out, but it does, pops right out. So that's what we do. So we stick to that procedure and we're safe. And believe it or not, all of the newer hybrids and electrics, if they have an SRS deployment, they automatically power themselves down. So we're not worried about cutting a big orange cable anymore or anything like that, but we need to know every time we're going, it could be a hybrid, man. It's like, holy cow. You just can't tell by
batteries
looking.
are hidden everywhere.
Right.
Trunk, under the back seat, in fenders, under the wheel well. You don't know where it is. You're searching for the low power, basically, hybrid, 12 volt.
You dig around.
That's why we disconnect the batteries, because if an airbag didn't deploy, you know, we disconnect the battery, but it takes, 2 to 3, 4 minutes for the capacitor inside that airbag to energize down.
So our biggest initiative is to cut that 12 volt.
Cut that 12 volt right away, because then that
the
process of the electricity is starting to dissipate, and it'll be safe somewhat if the airbag didn't go off.
Now you guys get to hear the airbag go off, right?
Yeah. Imagine that in your face right here.
Well, think about it too. Now here's the idea. The airbag, when it works with pretensioners, the airbag's actually designed to slow you down. It's not designed to stop you cold. It's got a vent on the side. So your frontal bag is 10 inches of bag that comes out that slows you from 65 miles an hour, or if it's a head-on 130, to 0 in 10 inches. So the stuff that's in there is powerful. Back in the day, it was sodium azide, which was used in rocket fuel. Now there's 20 different chemicals and 20 different liquids. But it comes out about 200 miles an hour, and it meets you in the face. So usually, if somebody was belted correctly and the car did the job, the majority of the injuries we find in these vehicles are minor traumas because of airbags.
Usually abrasions on the
Abrasions,
face,
scratches, bruises, cuts.
like a road burn.
Correct.
The legs, though, how about the legs underneath? A lot of you guys get a lot of broken legs underneath the truck.
Correct, yep. That's what we call a secondary entrapment. So a primary, when we get on scene, one of the guys will call up, hey, I got primary entrapment, which means I can't open a door and get you out. Secondary entrapment is when somebody scrolls through the window and starts to look at them, well, I've got them trapped under the dash a wee bit. So in other words, there's a frontal impact, you push the dash down on their knees, and we have to do what we call a dash displacement or dash roll, and get the dash and the steering column and everything else off of that person so that we can free their legs.
Car's better now?
What's that?
Crushing, yes.
Safer cars.
The engine's not in the driver's seat anymore.
Right. Every vehicle you see in a commercial on TV, the biggest thing they always highlight is 5-star safety rating, 5-star safety rating. So all the materials are more available and more price friendly to people now, but it's counterintuitive. It's harder for us to get them out.
The rollover thing now.
Yes, sir.
The rollover, right? Yep. SUVs, they do this and that.
Well, you also got to realize when there's a rollover and you're approaching the scene, let's say it's sitting up like this. When you approach the scene, you got to look under the vehicle. How many people were in that vehicle?
Did it land on somebody? There was a child underneath walking down the street.
And then, or somebody walked and it rolled over, hit him, and it landed on him. And it could be on its side. Yeah. Ready?
Yeah, just the last thing I wanted to mention, one of the initiatives that we're working on here in the city right now is to upgrade the current cache of equipment that we have.
Yeah.
So the jaws for years and years, as you can see, are a set of jaws over there. The jaws are the spreaders, the ones that open, okay? They're tethered to the truck by a hydraulic hose that runs off a pump on the apparatus. So part of what we're trying to do right now is take that current passive equipment, replace it with more powerful equipment that is completely portable and stronger. So if now you can imagine I'm over an embankment, I'm down in a field, I'm somewhere else where I can't get the apparatus close because everybody and their mother parked right on top of it, and be a completely independent.
How much is that, 40 grand?
The full system, mid-30s to set up a truck. But it's completely portable, and if power supplies dissipate and you use up your batteries, you can actually plug it into a 110 extension cord.
Generator reel. The ladder on the heavy red.
It will run 110?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Endlessly. So if you pull out the battery, you have an adapter. It comes with it, correct. So imagine if you had man and machine here, or somebody that got pulled into a piece of equipment, you now don't have to bring a truck or a gas-powered unit in to try and free them with the jaws, because they're not just for cars. They're for everything else. They're for RIT when you have a firefighter in a building. So if you've got a guy that's in a basement collapse and needs to be extricated and you need to use some heavy lift capabilities, you can use these in oxygen void environments because you don't need a gasoline motor.
We've used them on conveyor belts, folding machine. Somebody gets trapped.
How many trucks are
Three. Ladder 1, ladder 2.
Ladder 1 is only 15. Right, that's at the station, but there's nobody, you have to leave someone back to take it.
So ladder 1 is
Not down, yep. And the ladder 2. No, ladder 2 is done in 2, but that's a backup for CPO. We've got,
Sir, Nathan, did you have control of the grade
You want to get buttoned up?
The other selling point is you could put this hydraulic one on an engine. I mean, no. I mean, in other words, if you make the investment, you got to try to sell the story that you're not throwing it away. You're not throwing the hydraulic away.
We would replace it. Probably we would end up replacing the older.
I see.
The one that is not compatible with.
Now, the thing to think about, you're not trying to replace necessarily tools just because they're older, or because they're on hydraulic lines. Cutters, for instance, that were manufactured like some that we had 20 years ago, there weren't the same metals in cars as there are now. Nowadays, you have the Martin Citic core lines, the ultra high-strength steel, the high-strength low alloy, and all these things that protect my wife and kids, but we can't cut through your current cutters. So what do? We have to upgrade. So.
All right, Dave, we're going to put your goggles on.
Looks Vegas from way.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a battery pack.
That battery pack for them. That's it right there.
Yeah. And what's nice is you have
Mine, I brought a couple of replacements today, 2 years and they're not dead yet. So we used my original batteries for the whole 50 hour day. I've had these are brand new. I just popped them in the first time.
What we're going to be doing is take the right side off first, whatever you want. Take the right side off first. So right underneath that hose, you're going to grip up on your feet. Take that. Okay. If you're taking away the structural integrity,
Are we taking out the door? Both doors and the center post?
So once you take out the center post, the passing along go like this.
Right.
So that's why you want to block right in between the two doors.
What about the roof?
No. All right, so let's not start with this. Okay, so
center feed, put the foot down here, lock up when you need. You're gonna come back to this one, right?
I've done side like that.
And you do one behind, one in front.
You're not trying to get right up.
You're gonna say, Carl, get the heck out of my way.
You can chalk the other side too. What you would do, okay, Dave, is the airbag, we can lift it up enough for the jaws. Try to lift the vehicle up enough to get another set in there and lower it down. That's why you're chalking the wheels. Once you lift it,
a couple more so
and actually, if you want,
you're trying to protect the support of this whole thing collapsing down.
Right. So, Mark, why don't we lift the vehicle with the jaws and say you can trim this, and you're not trimming.
You also get a big one.
Right. You're not trimming the same way. You're gonna go.
I see. So you may go to.
You get a big one.
So what you want to do?
Kind of figure out.
Here, you lay these here sideways. Okay. Right. And what you're gonna do, when the jaws lift it, you're gonna take the jaws. You're gonna put them.
Where's that battery?
You gotta use the old one first.
Holy shit.
You're gonna lift the vehicle, get them underneath there. Pretty good. Now, let me walk you can.
Hold it up.
Right here is gonna be the little operation. Look at it. There you go. Let it go down to the ground. Put the knee under the water. That's it. Run with it. Run with it.
Somebody else will do the cribbage.
Right. So someone else is here. They're gonna go like this. Like that. And then drop it. Yeah. And it close up all the way. You're gonna be using it to pry the door. Okay?
Pretty heavy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Move this one off. This side. Yep. So I have more right here. Now what am I going to do the door now, right? Alright, now you're going to take the time of doing that. I'm sorry. Get out here. Alright, step around the other side of the door. Hold on, I'm going to open this up with the house. I'm going to open this. I'll give you a second. What's that answer? Grab the door. The door. Right.
Get it down.
that's a big selling factor, right? We're not replacing that this year, but we're gonna add a portable cutter, so we don't have to change it. You got a phased approach to the upgrade.
Yeah.
You never get the big all of it.
Right. Absolutely, you're gonna chip away. Yeah. Oh, that's our goal.
That's a very good, strong story. You got a guy running the cutter. We're gonna work on that. But in the meantime, you got the jaws, a portable jaw.
But see, that's one extra guy you have to keep up with.
And you save a guy.
It's not that door yet.
we're gonna put one of our EMS guys inside, right? Stabilize the patient.
All right, I've got Randy here. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this back door. Spin it around first. Roll on the seat. Put it under his butt. Remove the seat belt. Now the person that's inside holding traction has the shot. He's the shot. He says stop, he calls all the shots.
Right,
you're gonna have to pass your way around me because I gotta take this head in trouble all the way up.
Okay, so that's got to be solid there. You're gonna hold the end.
Correct. And the only thing we need to do is I need one person to lower the seat back a little bit.
I'll go when you get the seat.
Very good. And now he's gonna go around and we're gonna drop the seat back so I can clear Randy's head here. Rescue Randy. Pretty calm, Randy. Randy. We got a Randy.
Remember, he calls all the shots.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna see spine.
What we're gonna do, Craig's gonna be on the arm. He's gonna pass the arm over to you. On 3, we're gonna get head onto board. Everybody set? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. On 3. Move you right up the board. On 3, gentlemen. 1, 2, 3, go. Good position. Get straps on.
Now, we do not let go of C-spine until that is locked in place. His spine is still at a vulnerable state. Yeah, the guy was just
All right, go ahead, Paul. We're going to go 20 feet back over the extension point is. We'll walk over and we'll be going to the ground, go down on one knee, do not bend with the weight. This is in line now. He can't go anywhere.
You think that you just got those C-spine?
Moving? Okay.
You're in there keeping the patient calm.
Now what if the guy's talking to say, hey, I feel all right, or whatever?
Right.
Here's what can happen, and just to get it quick, we got to move stations. You got him pinned under a steering column, right? That steering column is adding pressure right here to his link, so his blood pressure up here seems fine, correct? Yeah. You get that steering column off him, and all bets are off once we get him out of the car, because once we relieve that pressure and move him, what happens to his BP? He nosedives, the guy tanks. So while he's talking to you in the car, the second you get him out of there, he shits. It's all done. Now you're working him outside when he was talking to you 2 minutes before.
We always do this for every single car accident because we never know. We don't have an x-ray machine, so even if he scratches his feet, he's going to go to the hospital this way because you never know. I mean, I've seen it where you've been in an accident, the guy bumped his knee. You come back, you probably heard C5 or C6. I never knew that. We did the same step every single time.
A lot of people don't realize Christopher Reeve walked around for 5 hours. Did he? Yeah. Wow. So,
if you practice the same way every time, then that's the way it is, no matter what the accident is.
Are you doing an airbag?
Yes. We're going to have a quick airbag class over here.
All right, yeah, we're going to move it.
Well, if you want to move them, we already see it.
All right, yeah, so then why don't we...
All right, you guys already seen my airbag glass, right?
Yeah, we already heard it.
You heard
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, have some, you can trust down a little bit, have some water then.
Yeah. Rehydrate. Grab a water, cool down.
Here's how you did it.
Fun stuff.
All because they won't let Roger fish in the sewer.
Oh. I wish I had a camera.
The rescue crew will get there and they'll do a search for victims too, maybe on a different floor or whatever. But when you find somebody, scrub everything again. Fire up, any questions? Does anybody want to be on air for this? You want to put a tank on?
No.
No? Okay, that's fine. You want to put a tank on?
Yes. What?
You putting a tank on, with the mask and breathing?
More real life, right? That we've seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable or...
Well, you worry about the closet. Some people get closet.
Some people are very anti.
Yeah, I'll let you know that.
Yeah, no. Well, I'll be on this swag, as you can tell, is very breathable. It's just mineral water, I believe. Steam it
Well,
up.
that's what's making this fog?
Yeah, we have a fog
Like
machine
your
upstairs.
face?
Yes.
You used to play Little League with my son, Mike in the door.
They just started this.
Good to see you. There's going to be enough of us up there. We're going to have the cameras. We'll be watching you. If you want to come off air, just signal us. We'll help you get it off. No problem. Like I said, we'll be able to see you.
Hey, John, up.
We'll see you on the other side.
We'll all be around. And like I said, once we come back down here, we'll give you the cameras to show you get our coats on. I'll have my back on you with the back.
Well, I mean, part of it, we get fresh from the G-Card business, and they take a picture of the line, so they see it. But when it's, awesome.
I remember the last time I saw you.
This year, basically, the scenario is we've got somebody that's on duty, that's possibly buildings on fire, participants and children still taking it's more comfortable.
I get the reach strap on, then it takes a lot of the weight of it off. Reach back.
So heavy, let me know.
Oh, you'll know.
Reach out, make sure.
Just right here, we've got
Try to get the muscle.
this is dangerous.
At least if I could get my questions. How long have you been a firefighter?
That's basically, you have a mask on.
Is that
It's just basically.
No, that's good.
No. You don't want it on your shoulder.
It's on my hips.
Put a mask on you now, and then once you're ready, you're about to go out. go under your chin. Now, both hands grab the bottom ones, pull them straight back. Grab the top ones, pull them straight back. Put your palm over it, suck in.
Yeah, I know, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, and now you have nothing in the pockets of your stuff. I have tools, and gloves, I have a radio and a flashlight, and it just adds more.
We wait on some 30 We're all set. Now, once you get to it, you want this up, and also turn it. See, it's got your order. You have the same as the front. So you find there, turn it, all over, turn it. Click in, and it's locked. And all the three of us series of lights not on.
Everybody's responsible for
This is crazy.
Most of the bigger trucks, like the Encoded ladder, they're all in the seat. So when you're sitting in the seat driving, basically all you have to do is throw the strap. Cut out any seat.
You have 200 pounds in here right now. There's a chance that this fiber might go off later.
I mean, run low.
That means you're running low. Do you have a quarter of a tank left? You're at half a tank right now. Oh, that's pretty good. Your light's indicating that you're at half a tank?
That's it.
So just probably need more water. Put another bottle, I think that's too low.
I think the most.
Oh, you get to experience, yeah.
Right.
The most anybody's used is 1,500, and everybody's been
It's
under
like
that.
scuba diving. I went one time, and the Bermuda place was so good, I went crazy, started breathing. Next thing you know, the guy goes, "You gotta go up," and because you get so excited and everything.
Yeah, you go through it pretty quick. Twist. Breathe. You gotta take it off. It's twist it. Press this button right as you take it off.
It is kind of funky when you first take a breath and you don't feel it. And you kind of get it up.
It takes 3 pounds of
standing still. And make sure it works the whole time. That was just gonna keep shaking. So yeah.
That's in case you go down, right? That would go off, and we know someone's in trouble.
Who wants to be on the nozzle? Volunteers? You have a sensor back here.
Not yet, no. Like what we want to do, if you don't do that, we're ready to go in.
That's your safety.
So you're going to breathe in?
So if you just stand
All you're going to do is breathe. You're going to have
Use an active indicator as possible.
Knowledge is all along the way. I don't want to cancel my bed.
It's up to them. They want to
You want to be on the nozzle? You want to be on the nozzle? Yeah. We're all going to be on the same side of the hose.
Yeah, we're on.
We have a wire shut so you can't.
I'm good. How about you?
Who are you with? Carl.
You representing anybody?
Yo, I'm Carl's son, Carl.
Oh, okay.
The idea is that we got access to 30-minute bottle. It's only going to last you 5 or 10 minutes. You want to put it on the left. You want to stay about an arm's length away from your hair.
Try and save as much. Usually what possible. Carry it just like this, you know what I'm saying? And rather than be holding the hose and flow around.
With that,
Once you get to the top of the stairs, you're going to get down to your knees. You're going to crawl.
This is an entry.
You're going to have one hand on here pulling this along, but you're also using your tool to kind of sweep the floor. Because they could be laying in the center of the room.
Our goal is to find that person.
find the person.
Report someone down.
Now, this is fully charged going up, or maybe.
It's half charged.
It's all that.
But we would still have to be ready to go in terms of.
In case you can fire up there, yeah.
She can say, will she indicate she's turning on?
No.
Just feel it, boom, on the boom.
Well, the one thing we like to do is we don't like to flow water until we see orange. Right? You see, we don't put water on smoke. So we would keep going until we saw it. And you would know. You're gonna feel it. It's gonna get warm. You know, it would be very hot. You'd be like, where is it?
Today it won't.
Today it won't.
Yeah.
Right?
The only thing that messes up there. And steamers.
Okay, yeah.
All right, stop. Everyone go in there? Everyone on there?
Okay, go on there. Okay, good. Okay.
All right, so go up and do a left-hand search. Keep your left hand on the wall.
Yeah, keep going to the left.
Well, somehow I don't think I can take pictures in there.
Yeah.
Good guys up there?
Let's get infrared.
What are you doing, just like me?
No, I wouldn't have done that. I stayed for it.
I think it's an insurance company that has it.
Oh, yeah?
Not an Uncle Bill. Huh? How to get the Uncle Bill. That's a casino. Okay, went there, went a lot. Could be wrong. Just want to stop you.
First, ready, what?
Sit down? Yeah. Keep your feet up. Just like when you were a kid. Now, sit down.
Compromise, you know what I mean? While you're up there. All pro.
How'd you do?
I wouldn't want to do it.
What's that? How'd you do? Alright.
That's different, huh?
Yeah, way different.
What'd you think?
It's cool.
I don't think it's cool. No? I don't want to do that.
I couldn't
It's a cool experience, but I don't want to do it.
Now make it 500, 600.
She was in 2 groups ago. No, she didn't go. Or Diana?
Yeah, then you have the heat.
Oh, yes, I do.
Furniture.
Yeah.
You know what that's bumping into?
It's okay if you lock them.
Loosen up each one of them.
Yeah. Now we're gonna go up for real. You alright? Coast on your right.
So should, yeah. Wow, very cool.
Pretty much used
Everything.
over 2,000 pounds a year. That was what, maybe 10 minutes worth?
What I didn't realize is you crawl on the knees, because we talked about that back there, and that's you don't really vision that till you do it. That's pretty interesting.
There's two reasons you do that. One, if there's a hole. You don't want to be like that.
Good?
That was freaky. That was amazing. And I didn't go through with the whole thing.
We had to take your stuff back off. We had to take your stuff back off.
I had when I get down on the wall with that big
The other thing was, we didn't have a light. And when I put the light on, it made a big difference. So I sort of was kind of looking for one on the helmet or something. That would be the case, or no?
Sometimes we ran out of light. You can actually see.
Yeah.
Like the orange one.
Yeah. That made a big
A
difference.
lot of guys carry.
What's a good question?
Very, very full in terms of.
As your vibrolar started to
Yeah.
skip, if you had gone out of there, it would have basically sucked your face.
Which is panic.
That is a panic.
So if I was up there and my thing went off, the red line goes off, am I supposed to start moving out? Yes,
You
that's.
and your partner are supposed to.
That's
You don't
it.
want to leave somebody behind the doors up there.
Right.
You're basically leaving the hose in there, turning around.
Even though I got 10 minutes, you're basically saying, yeah, I'm out. Or I didn't have 10 minutes, so you got a few minutes, right?
Yeah, a 30-minute ball open man, that's just fine. Then you come out, you grab another one, do it again, and then
And there's different techniques on breathing, like at the academy. The first week we were there, we were zapping out pretty quick. But once you start kind of getting used to it, you get control of your breathing a little bit more.
I've done diving, I was saying I did that same thing. The first time I went diving,
One guy down here was literally throwing it up.
going crazy. You got 70% visibility picture everywhere. So I'm down, the guy goes, but I'm like the first one to have to walk because I had burned up all my oxygen and acting like an idiot. So I'm sitting on the phone, and then where is everybody? And they're all down there cruising around.
Did you want to go upstairs and try to look with this thing, or?
Sure. Oh yeah. I put a coat and stuff on.
No, you're good.
You guys want to go up this?
I was watching that upstairs earlier.
Right, oh,
Yeah.
excellent.
That is
It's
something.
still a little foggy up here, so.
We get about 5 minutes.
Yeah, we can't see anything up here what's happening. You see walls.
You can actually see the seam and.
Yeah, we lost a lot of water.
Oh, there you go.
Nope, you can see a body.
Yep.
And the hose line's still on the floor, just be careful when you're.
But even with the lights on,
Yeah.
you're not seeing anybody
Look at
over
Oh,
there.
there.
Wow, that is cool. I can see you now.
What are
Yep.
you guys sleeping on the job? Come on.
That is very cool.
You didn't rescue him, you left him.
And
Yeah.
one deceiving
But even-
feature with that, if you turn around and look at the glass, you see your reflection.
Oh
That's me,
yeah.
that's you.
That is.
So
What is that? Just clear
It's
glass?
just
Yeah.
clear
Any
glass.
glass, mirror, or reflective surface.
No kidding.
So like a dance studio might be a tough time with a wall full of mirrors.
And you start thinking there's a lot of firefighters in there with the imaging cameras.
Yeah, waving. Look at that. You can see the studs on the wall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wiring will show up a little better. And with these newer ones, if you hit 300 degrees, it'll turn red. So you know that's a fire. It'll be color gradient so you can tell. It's a really useful tool.
Very cool.
Unfortunately, it's just another thing you have to carry and grab.
And that green dot in the center, wherever you point that, that's where the temperature reading on the side is.
Oh yeah, I can see it. No, that's cool.
I tell you, this was smoking heat. I'd be getting pretty paranoid. I have to-
Yeah, me too.
You start throwing furniture in the mix, and you don't know where you are. And you get stuck under a coffee table or behind a couch very easily.
Definitely. It's almost like you need goggles like this, right? Built right into your thing, right?
They do make.
I'm sure they're working on them.
Yeah.
Well, they do, but they're not very. You know, the Bullard came out with that. But it wasn't very. You get disoriented real quick with the helmet ones.
Yeah, you almost like you want to have like
Yeah.
be able to like bifocals or something, you know?
Right.
Deputy, where do you want them all?
That would be beautiful.
Really, very cool.
I'm gonna follow you.
No, I won't. Yep.
Yeah.
I won't let you get. Oh, watch the line right there.
Yep. Thank you. Watch the hose
Yep.
there.
Watch the whole line.
Stay to the right.
Stay to the right. Perfect. Perfect.
Very cool.
Part of like just as a separate group, they all get together.
You know what I mean? Have a pair where you're going looking normal and then you drop down to those where it go right into your helmet rather than carrying that. But that's the thing that was awkward. You carry the tool, you carry the hose. You know what I mean? The more you can freaking really smoke it. Not actually knowing where you're going. That's what I'm saying. You just freaking drop down. You want to see normal, and then you very easily. Yeah. Then you start looking around. Yeah. That's why we can go. I mean, you know, sooner or later. Probably made here.
Pretty much, how much faster you can find something with one of those. How you traditionally go in, you look at the field around.
Yeah,
That would give me a really big.
That's it. More exercise.
I look forward to writing computer code.
I got all my kids waited to take.
I mean, with training and everything else, right?
You can't get up without any weight on your back.
I can't do this. Weight on my hips is just too much. I couldn't get up.
Jay in there? He's upstairs again. Wait till the upstairs. Jay!
It's up to you now.
There's not even you can't submit it with snail mail anymore. You have to do everything electronic, and then you have to scan the sign-in sheet and submit it with the Excel spreadsheet. That's all you have to do. I'll show you.
Oh, they charged it 2.5. Charged it 2.5 for the bed.
I think it's leaking by. I know, that's what I'm asking. I was told to. Call the pump up.
Don't listen to the pump up.
We're ready.
You ready? Hello. We're at half price. Same thing as before. Grab that line, push forward, and really, really heavy. Big time. Same with you. You really got to push your forward. Ready? Yeah. You guys ready? Full pressure. All right. Open it up. Push it up. What about that? Open this up all the way straight. Straight thing. This is the further thing. Now the flip the most penetration. Okay? Yeah. You guys can get it back with that palm. Keep going. Keep going. Alright. You guys feel that here? Yeah. Alright. What that's doing is if you're in a house and you're putting this out the window, it's drawing all that smoke out. Okay? If you put your hand up here, you'll feel the air moving right out of it. Okay? That's what we call hydraulic ventilation. Okay? Not correct. Never let the stuff too high. Okay, alright, now we're going to rotate it. Everyone just move up. Yep. Same thing. Grab that hose, push it in the line forward. Everybody ready? Not feeling all the pressure. Open it right up. Yeah. So look. Nope, other way. Keep on. Feel the hose. Follow through. We're going to get no penetration.
You take this into the back door like this. You take this chin to the back door, then you let go. We do this for every single car accident. Whether he bumped his knee or whatever, because you don't know if he has his body. We don't have an MRI machine here. So if we do this for every patient, we're safe. So they might say, oh, just my elbow hurts. We're not a doctor. We don't have Leominster Hospital here, so we're going to go ahead and treat every patient the same. A, B, and C every time. Okay? Okay? Good job. All right, we're going to go over there and do a quick 5-minute airbag class. We're actually going to deploy an airbag. All right, so take off your gear. Get yourself cooled down. Keep your all set. Alright, let's take your gear off and we'll do a quick.
Want to do this again in another year or so. From the feedback seems to be pretty good from walking around the different groups.
Engine 3, Ronald 1, being dispatched to 72 Church Street, providing the building. 4-3, Ronald 1.
So I just want to, thank you guys for doing that. Chief, did you got any words? I got him. I'm sorry.
Down at the right time.
I'll go over what you guys were watching while you were eating. This is actually a drill that we did on our group, the wastewater treatment plant down by Home Depot. They approached us, and what it was, they've got a double cellar. Some of the areas were 16 to 24 feet deep, and they approached us saying, hey, what's going to happen if we fall in here? How are we going to get out? And that's how our department stays proactive. Within a week or so, we had done training exercise down there to kind of help them out. A lot of the industry in town is like that. They're concerned when their workers get injured, trapped, how are we going to do it? We did it at the high school about a month ago. We did the same thing. They're working up above the auditorium. The general contractor came to us and said, what happens if we get stuck? So we're being proactive in the community, trying to get out there, trying to learn, and just trying to be much more proficient at our jobs. Hopefully today, you've seen how much we love our job. Like I said, these guys came off duty, and I was very impressed. We've got guys that volunteered today that have been with us 2 months, all the way up to 30 years. So it really ran out of a 70-man, 75-man department. We had 33 volunteers that came out to show you our trade today. So it was really tremendous. Chief's got a few words.
Just briefly, thanks to all the participants. Very, very impressive to watch as an observer, the participants and some of our younger guys step up and do the instruction. And just thank you. And basically, it speaks for itself. You got a good hands-on feeling of doing the job. I'm sure you'll come back with a lot of positive feedback and comments. Thanks.
Thank you. From my perspective, very educational, and I thank everybody that showed up and volunteered. Right. Really, really, really well done and very enlightening. So I appreciate everyone.
Great, thank you. Craig, you got anything?
Just again, thanks to everyone for doing it. And if anything comes up where there's anything else you want to know, what else we do, anything like that, don't hesitate to let any of us know. If there's something we could do better, we're all ears, and like Jeff said, we love doing this. I mean, this is, we were going through some of the stuff, and, there were some comments of, I don't, it's kind of what we sit there hoping to do. So we really like what we do. We get to see a lot of the equipment, some of the equipment we'd like to go to. So hopefully that down the road everyone understands. If you read the paper, or they're hopefully putting together some money for us. You're not going to get mad at Councilor Rollins for agreeing to it because you've seen some of the things that we do. Hint, hint. So again, thanks a lot. And if you know of anybody that would like to do something like this, I'm sure we would love to do it again, so, thanks again.
As a parting gift, please keep the helmets. They're a present from us to you guys for participating. You sweated hard in them, we don't want to reuse them. So you're free to, once again, thank you for coming.
If you want the pants, I'll take those too. And the jacket, and I'll just show up on scene.
Any comments, anything that you would like to see different, or?
I think you guys did a great job. I've been working with most of you guys, old guys for years, and I'll tell you, I'm impressed. I thought I saw it all till today. You guys really put your heart and soul into it. I don't give you credit. It's hard. We see it after you've done the job. Nobody really sees what you do up front, except you guys, you know. To show that to us, and like I said, we've been around for a lot of years, and to show us what you really do, it's impressive. You do a good job. Very impressive. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right.
We can show you our rescue again.
Yeah, don't do the slideshow, because there's one phone I gotta discuss. I was gonna say, there may be another one on that disc. I don't know if you.
And we might end up with some good pictures that we're gonna forward to you.
Oh, excellent.
Hopefully.
I would like to be able to show them to my class.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.